I'm Tom Burke, and you're listening to the 365Flicks podcast.
Hi, this is Dave Krause. You're listening to 365Flicks podcast.
It's the rant, and you are listening to 365Flicks podcast. So pay attention.
And a go.
Definitive 365 cut. These are the meaningless ramblings of a Scottish redone whore and a pissy ex-video store clerk. Their ongoing mission is to set right the movie wrongs. They're gonna need a bigger podcast.
Well, hello. You're listening to episode 27 of the 365Flicks podcast.
27.
How are you doing tonight, Kev?
Yeah.
Oh,
not as doped up as I was in the last episode.
Well, that's always a plus.
Not as high in the sky as I was.
Still a bit of a miserable bastard, though, to be honest.
Always. I've got a bit of a cold, though. I'm on the arse end of a cold.
It's okay, though, because tonight we're being joined by another special guest.
Yeah.
Now, this is your buddy, Kev, so do you want to introduce... Well, it's Chris number 2.
Chris number 2. We called him Chris 2? Do we go Hobie and call him Scab Chris?
Scab Chris.
No,
we're not doing that.
No,
We've
got beef with Hobie.
Really. We do that.
So basically, Chris is a good pal of mine from way back. When we were starting the podcast, I was kind of nipping his head quite a bit about sound and stuff and tunes and shit like that. I was constantly beefing you, wasn't I?
Yeah.
Just introduce yourself, Chris. He's a good pal of mine from a long time ago. And what's the crack, mate? Where you been?
Oh, well, it's been many years, hasn't it? Yeah. So I used to live near yourself in the borders for my sins, but it's been. I dread to think. I mean, did we work it out last time we spoke? Exactly how long it's been? I mean, what, 15 years?
I would say about, it has to be 15.
It's got to be at least 15.
Possibly 16. Last time I saw you were bunking in with Husey for a couple of weeks.
Yes, that's right.
And you had like 2 massive big boxes of like rap CDs. And you were like heavy into your Biggie and your 2-pack.
Oh dear!
Oh my god, that was the rap. That was the rap phase. Yeah.
Exactly. and then the next time I speak to you, you're like, "Oh, I'm all about the D&B. I'm all about the drums and the bass and shit." And I'm like, "What the fuck's that?"
Oh man, there was a bit of a transition period where I was doing MCing and all sorts. It sort of started off from rap and then going into drum and bass, but we don't talk about those days.
We don't talk about those days. The rap days.
The rap days.
MC Hazy Haze and that.
Literally MC Haze, yeah.
I used to love that, man.
Yeah.
But one of the things that we always kind of... Probably from when we first met and going through to the last time we probably spoke, we were all about our games.
Yeah.
There was I remember I'll still never forget sitting in my bedroom because I think I was in the room at the very top of the house.
I remember the house. Yeah.
Aye, the big old house in front of the Jippo yard.
Yeah.
I was at the very top of the house. And I can't remember what machine I had. We played Side Pocket. Remember Side Pocket?
Side Pocket on the Mega Drive.
On the Mega Drive. Did you ever play this?
I never had a Mega Drive. I was a NES man.
Oh.
Side Pocket was so good. It had the jazz music. It had you got rewarded with a picture of a woman at the end of the game.
That's all you want.
God damn NES.
That was enough for us back then, wasn't it?
It was amazing, man. But it was like
all you got was Princess Daisy on the NES.
You used to get you got the pool table or the snooker table, and you had to like line it up, and you got a little trajectory of where the ball was going to go, like little white dots.
Right.
Didn't matter how hard you hit it, you were always potting that ball. It was just like fucking hit and hope.
Jazz music.
Oh, the jazz music was nuts. So that was why I wanted to do more of a gaming episode with you.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
That's more the memories I have.
Yeah, well, I'm not as much as you, Chris 2. Chris call you that? That's a bit of a shit name, isn't it?
What did we agree the other day?
I think we agreed you can call me Haze.
Haze, right, okay.
Yeah, I guess I'll make things easier.
Yeah,
or the unmentionable nickname for Chris 1, I don't know.
What was that?
Oh, no, it was... what was it? It did begin with an S.
Oh, we don't mention that on the
We don't,
podcast
no.
because he gets all.
I don't get pissy at Smurf. People call me Smurf.
So why do I always have to edit it out? I always feel like when I'm listening back that I have to edit it out. So I don't.
Because we're
like,
professionals. And
we are professionals.
So yeah. So moving on. So because Hayes on the show tonight, we're going to be doing a very special gaming episode.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about our memories of gaming. We've got a little bit of listener poop shoots about that.
Did we get poop shoots?
We did. And then we're going to talk about the shittest gaming movies ever,
Yep.
according to us.
Of which there are a few.
There's a few. I struggled a little bit.
Did you struggle?
I did struggle.
How did you get on his? How did you get on with it?
Without sitting down and really thinking about it, there was only two gaming movies that I could think of that I'd actually sat and watched from start to finish. So
What?
yeah.
Was one of them Super Mario Brothers?
One of them was Super Mario Brothers.
That's not on your list, though, is it?
Well, I guess it has to be by definition. It has to be by definition because a lot of the, to be honest with you, a lot of the other ones I haven't seen because I would just be too depressed to watch them.
So
Yeah.
So you're not a Yui Ball fan then?
Oh, Yuri Bull. He's kind of renowned for his terrible gaming movies.
Mad German bastard, I think is the term.
I've never heard of him.
Yui Ball, oh man, he direct. If it is a video game movie, he's probably done it. Like he's just a lunatic.
Didn't he do the Max Payne movie, which was
Think he did,
critically
yeah.
absolutely,
Most of them are
about his.
panned, aren't they? I've never
Yeah.
seen Max Payne. Was
But
that one with Marky Mark?
Yeah,
I've never seen
you
that.
gotta love a bit of Marky Mark.
When I was looking at the lists online this afternoon, it was amazing how many have actually been made that I've not seen.
See, I was kind of the other way. I had like maybe 10, and then I had to think, let's not be too critical here. Let's like give some of them a break because they deserve it.
Yeah. I've only got 3 on my list, though, so
well.
be fine. And then we're going to finish off with video games that we think should be movies.
Yes, definitely.
So we're going to do that first. So we're going to do that last year in bygones.
But for a bit of nostalgia, I had an idea. It's an idea I've been kicking around for a section on the podcast for a while now, for like numerous different things. Like if we have a guest on, we can ask the question. It's an idea that I'm calling first, last, and best. Is that okay? Yeah, first, last, and best.
Yep.
So basically, tonight we're gonna do the first game that you remember playing, the last game that you've been playing, and the best game that you've ever played, just so we can get to know each other a little bit more. Because, to be honest, I've not spoken to Hayes for 15 years, and, well, Chris and Chris have never spoken. Apart from that 10 minutes the other night. Because this is like our second attempt at this.
To be fair, I was pissy that night anyway. I was tired.
Was you all pissy, was you?
I was.
Why didn't we do it?
Well, you kind of got hit by a dodgy female driver, I believe.
Oh, yeah. Shh. Court case pending. Shh. We'll start off with first, last, and best. So because you're the guest, we'll throw it straight over to you, my man. What was the first game you remember playing?
Wow. All right. Yeah, great idea for a segment, this gentleman. But I guess first game.
That's one way to get a repeat visit, isn't it? To like just
gentleman.
Yeah.
I've got to mix in being nice is sort of beating the bee's nest, which is pretty much all I've done so far. First game I remember playing. My first console or computer technically was a ZX Spectrum 48K.
Wow.
So it sort of looked like a scientific calculator with rubber keys, and you had tapes.
I had one of them as well.
Games loaded now and again after about 20 minutes of listening to fax machine sounds. That was, and then now and again it would load, and you'd be in for a treat. So the first game I remember playing on that was Jetpack, by Rare, company known for a lot of class games over the years. But Jetpack, it's a game sort of set in space. As back then, very simple. But you're basically a spaceman, kind of jumping around, shooting lasers at fallen rocks and different enemies and things, jumping on platforms, collecting things and stuff like that. Very simple, but very, very difficult. I have played it again recently. I do have this kind of gaming device that sort of emulates lots of old machines and stuff, and I managed to get a Spectrum working on there. And it is seriously hard. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it emasculates you. Playing a game that you remember it being something you were quite good at, and then you play it now and you realise, well, I've either been playing games that have sort of been dumbed down over the years where I'm kind of intended to finish them as opposed to just play them because they can't fit much game on a like they haven't got much memory to play with, so they make them hard so they last longer, or I'm just old and pants at games. So I hope it's the first one.
I'll go with the second one if I'm honest with you. I think I'm getting to that point. Like I am getting old and shit at games. Like because I'm the same as you. Like I tried to play an emulated game a little while ago. Remember Bubble Bobble?
Bubble Bobble, yeah. And
I remember being the shit at that. I remember being amazing at that game, and I just could not wrap my head around it.
Was that a Sega game?
That was a Sega game. It was like Master System. Yep, you got like these two little dinosaurs, one on one side of the screen, the other on the other side of the screen, and you got like a little platformy sort of level, like Donkey Kong sort of thing,
right.
The original Donkey Kongs.
So good.
And you used to have to like climb up and get the ghosties and stuff, but you have to blow bubbles to catch the ghosties in the bubbles, and then pop the bubbles, and then they turn into bits of fruit. I realise saying it out loud sounds like a terrible game.
And you actually kind of turned it into an 8-year-old while you were speaking. The bubbles and the ghosties.
Honestly, man. That I used to be amazing at that game. So I know what you're saying with how hard games actually were back then.
Yeah.
Back then you didn't care because you were a child and you had perseverance. Now you just...
In time.
In time, aye.
Now you just get the huff and throw the controller and go, fuck it, and put it off and sell it.
Now you're just like, where's my goddamn pause button? Where's my continues? So, put it over to you.
Yeah. My first video game that I can remember was on the NES, and it was Duck Hunt.
Oh, what a game.
I loved
But you
Duck
just
Hunt.
put the gun to the screen and you...
Yeah, you did that because you're a cheating bastard. People who played it properly didn't do that.
You never missed if you did that, though?
I may have done that later on once it gets harder. But, yeah, I just remember I got the Nintendo for my Christmas one year. Yeah, me and my dad spent, like, pretty much the whole day playing Duck Hunt, and it was awesome. So that's the first memory of video gaming that I've got, Duck Hunt.
You played Duck Hunt?
I have played it. I actually bought it on Christmas Day last year because it was released on the Wii U Virtual Console.
All right.
Oh, get out. Was it really?
Yeah. It's only about £4 or something, but unfortunately, it's very good. You get all the memories. The dog popping up and laughing at you when you miss and stuff like that. Playing it with a Wiimote, it's just not the same.
Not the same,
it gives you like a target that you move around, so it kind of feels like you're using a mouse to shoot. And
fuck that.
There was something special about that gun as well, though.
Oh, it felt so good, didn't it? The little when you fired it.
Did you feel good holding that gun,
I felt
buddy?
amazing holding the gun.
Much like your first game ever that you played, playing it with your dad and stuff, mine goes way back to that. I remember my cousin had a Master System, and we were like round playing it one day. My dad was like, right, we're going to go out, we're going to get him a Master System, we're going to play the Master System. Alex the Kid in Miracle World. That was a fucking...
Oh,
I do remember Alex the Kid. I think my cousin had a Master System at one point, and I do remember Alex the Kid.
That is a ball-ass game, that.
I was never a big fan of Sonic. It's got a bit repetitive, but I do remember thinking Alex the Kid was awesome.
Alex the Kid was amazing. You had tiny little legs and a muckle fist, and you punched the birds and turned into ghosties, and oh man, Alex the Kid. All the way Alex the Kid.
Got to think about ghosties, haven't you?
Well, a lot of games back then, had ghosties in.
The ghosties on Mario were annoying bastards.
Aye, but that was my first memory ever. I had two. We used to play Alex the Kid in Miracle World, and for some reason we used to play Double Dragon. Why you would have your child playing Double Dragon, I've no idea. Like, do you not like punch girls and shit like that?
I have no idea.
But they're prostitutes, so they deserve it.
Alright.
Did you ever play Alex the Kid?
I did. Again, loved Alex the Kid. The paper scissors rock games in between levels as well for the bosses.
Amazing.
Oh, what a game! And the little the underwater bits as well.
Solid.
Yeah, it was a very difficult game. Again, try playing that now, and it will, it will destroy.
I did, and I got to, I think I got to like level 4, and that's on the first map. That's when you know you're doing shit.
That's impressive, though, level 4. Seriously. I don't think I got past the first motorcycle bit.
The motorcycle! When you had to go in the little shop and buy the bike. Oh. And when you beat the level, You ate a hamburger. It was awesome. You got a little hamburger.
I can kind of remember that.
Oh, man. They made endless sequels as well. You had Alex Kidd Shinobi World when he was like a ninja. That was crap.
Would that be the one and only time then that a game came pre-installed on the console that you've bought? I can't remember that ever happening, with PlayStation or anything like that.
On the Master System, you got, the Mega Drive. Did you not get a Sonic game?
No, I don't think that ever happened on the Mega Drive, but there was several versions of the Master System that had different games installed.
Right.
So there was in fact the early version of the Master System that was kind of because the one you'd be thinking of would be the Master System 2, I think.
Yeah,
maybe. Yeah.
But an earlier version of the Master System came with a Duck Hunt style game called Safari Hunt that was pretty good. Hang On, which was like a motorbike.
Super Hang On with a bike.
Yeah.
So, from the first game you ever played, what have you been playing lately, Chris?
Oh well, I play quite a few things. I've got I'm a pretty prolific gamer, so I play on my PlayStation, Wii U. But the last game I played was a game called Phoenix Wright on my 3DS.
All right, yeah.
Which is, if you haven't heard of it, it will sound quite bizarre, but it's basically a lawyer simulator. So it's kind of a strange Japanese. It's kind of
a lawyer simulator, right?
Yeah.
Is it making a murderer of the video game?
Ooh. Yeah.
No.
It's a bit too soon.
Sorry.
It's so it's kind of a Japanese anime visual novel style game where you kind of go up against people in court, and you go and investigate things, and it's a very strange kind of judicial system that they've got in this kind of fictional Japan. There's quite a few sequels to it. I've played them all multiple times, but they're some of my favorite games of all time. So at the moment, I'm actually replaying the first one. And special mention to my mate Tom Gardner, who introduced us to the Phoenix Wright series, which has become something that it's like a good book. I kind of replay it the year. I'll kind of go back to these games, but very recommended. Slow paced gaming. I do liken it definitely to having a little read of a book before you go to bed, as opposed to something that requires skill or action, which again is beneficial if you're aging like myself. So Phoenix Wright.
Is it like playing Judge Rinder, the game?
Well, you kind of raise
how high
kind of
profile
raise objections and
you raise you know what it is? I've said it before. I'm a bit of an Ally McBeal fan, or I was back in the day. I like Boston Legal. I could play a good lawyery game.
Well, look what you did with the debate. You kicked my ass.
I did. I got all lawyery. Did you listen to the debate episode when we did Iron Man 3 versus Dark Knight Rises? I went totally. What was it? What did you say? I went Denny Crane.
Either Denny Crane or Alan Shaw.
I'd like a good lawyery game.
I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting you to be pacing the floor at night like you probably were, rehearsing your fucking opening and closing statements.
Well, yeah, you've got a Tom Cruise it.
You didn't tell me you were doing that.
That sounds all right though. I have seen that. I have seen that game about. I've never played it, but I've seen that around because we got one of the girls. A 3DS a wee while back, and I was wanting to get some games that I could play on it. Of course, I just ended up getting Mario Brothers.
Always a winner.
Mario Brothers and Pokemon. That's the way I go.
I play a bit of Pokemon as well.
Pokemon's awesome.
I love Pokemon.
That's not one I've ever played. That was after my time.
It's so fucking addictive.
What do you do? What do you do on Pokemon?
Catch them all.
Basically, this is for a kid's game, right? Effectively, what Pokemon is you enslave animals.
Yeah.
You cage them up, and then you force them to fight each other.
Oh dear.
So, Chris, number one.
Pretty much the only game I've played since like the end of last year is WWE 2K16.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, I'm still addicted to it. I kind of...
Have you got the belt yet?
Yes. Well, no.
Oh, you got shafted, didn't you?
I did.
Triple H shafted you.
I was actually about to take a break from it and go back to Witcher 3, but then I sort of said to myself, I'm going to go to WrestleMania and I'm going to defend it. I'm going to defend the title of WrestleMania. I had Brock Lesnar. I was already open up a can of whoop ass and that suplex bitch, and then Triple H comes in and screws me out of the title.
What a bastard!
I know, fucker. So yeah, I'm addicted to it again now.
It's Triple H though, so you let him off.
Well, yeah, it's Triple H.
He is the game.
He probably did a crotch chop. So
he did a crotch chop to you?
No, he didn't do that. But in my head, he did a crotch chop, and then I let him off.
I was the same as you for the longest time. I was embroiled in that game, and I couldn't stop playing it until a couple of weeks ago. And I've been texting you loads. Arkham Knight. I am fucking addicted to this game right now. I don't know how long it took me to actually pick it up, but my God, it was like...
Well, yeah, I lent you that, like...
Oh, aye.
Pretty much as soon as I'd completed it, I lent you that.
Probably like a year ago.
Maybe, I don't know, during the summer or something?
Chris number 2 will obviously say, yes, he's like that. I do learn things, and then, like, 2 years later, you get them back.
Mind you, I did have your Lost Season 6 Blu-ray for about 18 months or something.
Yeah, but it's lost, so you have to take your time with it.
I lost it.
Oh, God.
Doesn't matter. Move on.
Yeah. Yeah, so, 2K16's awesome.
Yeah.
But, for me, it's Arkham Knight right now. And Barbara just died. Is Barbara actually dead? Does she stay dead for the game? Because I was like sat there like, what the fuck? The Oracle.
Oh, I'm not telling you. Spoilers.
Oh, tell me.
No?
Okay.
I can't remember.
I was totally loving the game. I think the Joker, it's not Mark Hamill this time though, is it? Who's voicing him?
I thought it was.
I don't think it is. Because it sometimes sounds like him and it sometimes doesn't. But I think it's some other dude now. You know when he keeps on coming up in the hallucinations and he keeps like speaking to you. I keep fucking shitting myself.
There was one bit where you had to open. You were climbing up a balcony or something, and he
does it all the time. He does it all the time, and I'm like, what the fuck? So that was the first and the last. What is the best game you've ever played?
It is Mark Hamill, by the way.
Is it Mark Hamill? Fuck you then.
Oh, best game. This is too difficult. This is the sort of question where I'll give you a different answer if you ask us now or tomorrow or the day after.
Definitely. Mine's changed like 6 times today.
Yeah, I mean, there's loads of games that kind of come to mind. Zelda, Ocarina of Time on the N64, Persona 4, the Mass Effect games were just incredible. But the game that I'm going to pick based on the amount of times I've bought it and the amount of times I've finished it and keep going back to it and will keep going back to it is Streets of Rage 2 on the Mega Drive. But there's just something about that game. It's relatively simple, but it's got the best soundtrack to a game I think I've ever heard. You know, the fighting mechanics are simple, but they're great. And playing it co-op with your mates is back in the day on the Mega Drive, 2 players, but I had it on Xbox Live, so you could play it with people in different houses and that. And Streets of Rage 2. Awesome.
That's the one I've played.
That one?
No.
Did you have like a proper deprived childhood?
No, I had the NES and then I went to PS1 as soon as that came out.
Is that not like skipping quite a few consoles? Did you not have a 64 or anything?
No, it came out.
Did you not have a 64?
No.
So when did you play GoldenEye? Did you ever play
GoldenEye?
Oh my fucking god!
Oh.
No, I had the NES, and
this is what I'm dealing with.
The NES was out for ages, and then I think it was the NES, the SNES, and then the N64.
Yeah.
So the only one I missed was the SNES.
The SNES.
The SNES, it was. Super Nintendo. Shut the fuck up. Because N64 and PS1 came around about the same time.
Around about the same time,
So yeah, shut up.
I can't believe you never played GoldenEye.
I was busy playing Hook and stuff on the NES, don't question me, alright? Yeah, I struggled with this one as well. I'm actually going to hobby this shit.
Oh, you can't hobby it.
I am. So, yeah, it's a tie for me between old school and kind of sort of new school. The old school one is Super Mario World 3.
Yeah.
On the NES.
Standard.
Which is fucking awesome. And it's still awesome. You could still play hours playing that game. The sort of more recent one that I put in there was the Knights of the Old Republic 2.
I forgot
which was not really new school. It was I think it was on the original Xbox.
Sorry, is that a BioWare RPG?
Yes.
It was.
It was when you can build your own lightsaber and learn to use different force powers and all that kind of thing. And it's just an RPG where you become a Jedi. And it was amazing, and it was an amazing story. Yeah. So I had to put that in there as well.
It was kind of like, when Fable came out and they said you had all these choices, but really you didn't have all those choices.
You did more in the second one. I was never a big fan of the first one or the third one. But Fable 2 was really good. I wanted to be
a bad guy all the time. I just wanted to run in and like rape them all. And
I did a bit of that, and I'd go and fart on people, and
Hey. But like, what was the point?
Not as bad as raping people.
What's the point of being a good guy?
Could you rape people?
You couldn't rape them, but I remember when the third one was coming out, and they said it was going to be massively online, but really you could only go so far off the screen as your partner.
The third one was shit.
It was terrible.
But this is just standard Peter Molyneux, just telling you that he's going to deliver the best experience you've ever played, and it comes out and it's an absolute pile of dog turd.
It was. Fable 3 was fucking god awful. I played it maybe twice, and I was like, nah.
But yeah, I couldn't decide between the two, so I hobbied it. So there you go. Suck it.
I was almost going to hobby it, but I actually had a 3-way tie, and then when I was in the van today and I was thinking about the games that meant the most to me at certain times, there's one game that stands head and shoulders above the rest.
I think I know where it's going to be.
And it wasn't even in my top 3. I don't think you do. Do you?
Is it that Shenmue?
Shenmue.
Suck it.
Shenmue.
What
a game.
There's no game that has ever... Maybe... Remember Heavy Rain a couple of years back?
Oh, yeah.
Loved Heavy Rain.
That was maybe the closest experience to Shenmue, like, on a sort of emotional level and a sort of like... But, Shenmue, 100% best game I've ever played. And I cannot fucking wait for Shenmue 3. You know, I've been waiting about 15, 20 odd years, but I cannot wait for that game.
Is there a release date, or...?
No, I think he's still making it. He got the Kickstarter, didn't he?
Yep.
He got the money he wanted. But when that game comes out, you're just not going to see me for months. You're just not. I'm going to be sat in my room just jacking off.
Great choices.
Oh, Jesus Christ. So are there any games coming out soon that you guys are fancying?
Probably WWE 2K17.
You're a bit of a wait.
2K18, 2K19. You know what I'm like. I buy them every year.
Yeah.
I stopped buying FIFA, though.
FIFA's shit. Hate FIFA.
Which...
Pro Evo's making a comeback.
Fuck Pro Evo. Pro Evo was crap, man. It was crap.
Oh, back in the day, it was brilliant.
It wasn't.
It fell by the wayside, but
it wasn't FIFA.
You didn't have the player names and the stadiums and stuff, I guess. But,
they lost a bunch of licenses, didn't they, to FIFA?
Back in the day, I don't know if you were still around, Beric, at the time, but we had a game shop that opened up, he used to like promote FIFA like a bastard because he knew that Pro Evo, because he knew that we all liked FIFA. So he was like, "Oh, I'm going to get you all to buy Pro Evo," and like, I think I played it once, and I was like, "Nah, this isn't for me. Like, I need my FIFA."
Thing is, it's a very different style of game. FIFA is a lot more kind of arcadey, whereas Pro Evo was always kind of more sort of more realistic football in terms of the mechanics.
Whatever.
But yeah,
more realistic. You don't get much more.
It did fall by the wayside. But,
good, because it was shit.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, I guess it was always a problem playing with like West London Blue instead of Chelsea. Yeah, I mean, the Pro Evo FIFA debate. Yeah, people tend to fall down one side of it. And it's probably clear that we're on different sides of that. But
Man,
I do
like
the recent year
as well?
FIFAs.
Did you not have Man Red? Was it Man Red?
The commentary was always really, really bad on Pro Evo. That was another thing.
That's the one thing I will agree with anybody who talks shit about FIFA, though. The commentary on FIFA is fucking crap. They need to get rid of them.
It's bad on any football game, usually.
Yeah, I think really they should just get people like Frankie Boyle and like Michael McIntyre to do the commentary, because it is that laughable anyway, so you might as well get comedians on it. I never bought the last one. I don't think I really played the one before that. But is there any games coming out that you fancy?
Let me think. Well, I play a game called Destiny on PS4, and like the rest of the Destiny community, I'm waiting for them to bring out either Destiny 2 or the next kind of big expansion pack. So I guess that's something I'm looking forward to. And Persona 5, which will be out on the PS4, I believe, at some point in the future. So yeah, probably those two.
Is Destiny the one that got like? It was just by a bunch of people that made Halo that had sand in their Chinese.
That's it.
So they fucked off and made Halo, but called it something different.
Yeah, I mean, Destiny pretty much takes the Halo game mechanics and slaps it onto an MMO. makes it super addictive. I mean, it's basically video game heroin. Yeah, it's very, very good. But yeah, the shooting mechanics are second to none. So it's a sort of game where every time you think you're done with it, you'll go away and you'll try something else, like Battlefront or I don't know, Call of Duty, and then you just keep going back to Destiny because it's just so good. So there was other games I was looking forward to in the first person shooter realm, such as The Division, but ultimately it's Destiny, man.
I think The Division's just going to be another Watch Dogs. They're pimping it and they're hyping it as much as they possibly can, but when it comes out, it's not going to be great.
Well, there's a closed beta at the moment going on, and a couple of my mates have played it. And since playing it, they've compared it to such classics as Army of Two, and decided to cancel their pre-orders.
Army of Two? What was
Army of Two?
Which one was that again?
It was on the Xbox a while ago, and it was as it suggests. It was kind of a 2-player co-op style game. I don't know if it's entirely accurate because I haven't actually played the the beta of the Division, but it wasn't particularly good. And in terms of third-person combat, it's always going to get compared to things like Gears of War, which, by the way, was brilliant. I miss that is probably the main thing I miss having an Xbox for is Gears of War, but I try not to think about that. To be fair.
It'll just get you down. Anything you're fancying?
I'm not really sure if anything that's on the way. There's one out at the minute that I've not bought yet because I've been playing WWE's Rise of the Tomb Raider. I love the first Tomb Raider reboot.
It's supposed to be a very good reboot, yeah.
The first one was awesome, and yeah, I'm looking forward to playing the new one. It came out in, I don't know, November or something.
I played that one on the Xbox One that you told me to play. It was quite good. Like it's a bit too same old with Tomb Raider though. Like, you can't really do very much out of what they want you to do.
It wasn't open world or anything like that. There is apparently like an open world Star Wars game coming, but that's kind of. What
do you mean that's kind of squint your eyes?
It's like, the John Cena heel turn. It's like the Easter Bunny. You can't, it's not going to...
I think the only things that I'm kind of looking forward to is obviously Shenmue 3. I cannot wait for that to come out. Telltale is making a Batman game.
Oh, yeah.
And I love my Telltale. I'm a big fan of my Telltale. So.
Telltale, the Telltale, story games are awesome.
Although, the more I'm playing them, the more I'm realising that they kind of just follow the same sort of story every different game. Like, when they made Game of Thrones, it sort of follows that same kind of...
I've only played the first
Walking
2
Dead.
Episodes of that.
But you cannot beat The Walking Dead as far as Telltale goes. It is fucking unreal.
Oh, The Walking Dead games, man. Yeah, some of the most emotional experiences you'll have in gaming. Playing through those the first time. Yeah.
You have to tell anyone to look at the flowers. Or...
Oh, man, if you could tell somebody to look at the flowers in that game, that would just be the balls. But in the first series, you are, what was his name again?
Lee.
You play Lee, and you have to look after the little girl. You saw that. You have to look after.
Told me about that.
You have to look after Clementine. And at the end, Clem basically she doesn't kill him, does she? She just leaves him for dead. No, she does kill him.
Are we saying spoiler alert?
Spoiler alert.
Don't you get different outcomes and stuff depending on what you do? No?
Yeah, but you're always going to take the shot, aren't you? If you get the choice to shoot someone or not shoot them, you're going to shoot them every time.
I'd be dead in a zombie apocalypse.
You would be mincemeat within a day. Like
I'd be like Morgan, where I'd sort of say, "Oh, you're all right, up you get." And then I'd get a fucking knife in the back of my head or something.
So does that mean I'm like Carol in this situation? Because I just wouldn't hold any prisoners. I would just take them all out.
See, maybe I might be like Carol. Maybe I'd start off as a bit of a soft touch, and then I'd turn it in a badass. And
I think you're more Tyrese. Like you kind of have that in you. You just never use it because the writers are such fucking pussies to give you the role you're meant to have.
Right.
So who would you be, Haze?
Do not get me started. Honestly, the things they're doing with that show. Anyway, who would I be?
Who would you be in The Walking Dead? Game or movie?
I don't know. Maybe to go back to your Carol and Morgan analogy. Maybe I'll be the wolf in the corner, just looking people square in the eye, saying, "I will kill you."
He is pretty badass, to be fair.
Yeah.
I do like. I hope that wolf sticks around and it's not another Gareth.
Didn't he escape?
Well, he did. He got away. But I hope he actually stays around for a bit instead of like, "Hi, I'm Gareth. I'm going to eat you, and then I'm going to die." We could talk Walking Dead for days. We probably will get you back on for a Walking Dead when the new series starts.
Yeah, we'll do that when the new series starts.
Yeah, I'd love that. I'm a big Walking Dead fan. I love the comic. I love the show when it's done. When it's done well. But I've got a lot of issues with it.
Like so yeah, the episode with Rambo Carol, for example.
Yeah, that was. That was a good episode.
How did you feel when she made Mika look at the flowers? What was your like at that point in time? Where were you?
Right. Okay. Right. Are we going to do this?
Do it.
We're going to. We're going to do this. Right. That episode. Basically, I was so fucking angry about how they'd handled that whole storyline because in the comics, obviously in the comics, there's a similar-ish storyline with a couple of little brothers, and one of them kind of plays the role of Mika, going slightly insane, and it ends up killing the sibling. Yeah, so obviously in this, the way that those two little girls were, particularly Mika, with the I mean, just some of the worst dialogue. I mean, I don't place the blame on the actress. I just think it was shoddy writing, shoddy dialogue, and just lazy in every respect. But
It was a little bit.
That particular
I
episode.
did love her, though.
Oh, now you're fucking saying that.
I did love that
I've
last
been
season.
saying that for months.
No, she didn't deserve to be killed.
Yes, she did.
Right. Sorry.
That particular that particular episode was one where I was sitting back watching it with my arms folded, with my typical critic's hat on, saying, "This is shit. This is shit. What are they doing?" And then suddenly they do the thing.
How dare they?
Suddenly they do the thing that I didn't think they had the balls to do, which was to actually have a killer sister, and then to have Carol kill her in return. It was brilliant. It was a really good moment in amongst a sea of absolute wank.
I think that whole half of that series was a sea of wank. To be fair,
yeah, wank covers it quite well.
it was just like Walking Dead turned Lord of the Rings. Just a shit ton of walking, just
But
walking everywhere.
the biggest issue with The Walking Dead is that when they do, I mean, like you say, the Carol episode, the pilot, the first episode of The Walking Dead, the first episode of this season just gone, you see an episode of The Walking Dead and you think, they've finally done it, they've got their shit together, they've got good writers in, they know what they're doing.
Yep.
And then it's like 6 episodes of absolute crap that you can barely stomach. and by the end of it, you can't wait for it to be over. And then, I mean, the mid-season break comes and we all get our hopes up again, and the cycle. I mean, I've got no doubt that they'll smash it out the park for the first episode of this next series, and then it'll just
They'll do fuck all for 4 episodes, and then they'll come back and mess it up completely.
They'll all be fixing the walls and stuff, and talking about their feelings. And
I do remember the Look at the Flowers episode.
it invoked a lot of rage.
You know, I've got issues with it, as you know, but I do remember the scene where the little mental girl has got the walker in the garden, and Carol comes out and kills the walker, and she sort of kicks off at Carol. And I do remember actually screaming at the TV, "Oh, piss off!"
You weren't happy.
perfectly
I was
reasonable
not happy at all.
It's a real human being. It's just a little bit different.
You know, I've said it before, I'll say it again. You would just slap the crazy out of her. You would have to.
Yep.
That episode kind of traumatized me a little bit, if I'm honest, because I know what you're saying. They finally did what they had to do, what they were going to do, and I'm glad it was Carol that did it, because it just proves once again that Carol is the life and soul of the fucking TV show.
Did you read today that they'd planned to kill her off in season 3?
And that was like a thing for a long time.
Oh, no.
Can't ever do that.
No.
I mean, you kill Carol, you
unacceptable.
riot.
Yeah.
To be honest, I'm okay with Daryl dying, but if Carol dies, I'm the same as you. I'm done.
No.
And I don't think he's got the balls to do that.
Kirkman.
He's not got the balls. And if he does, he'll probably just go straight on the Talking Dead and say, "It's okay, Chris. She's fine. We're going to bring her back." Do you watch the Talking Dead?
Oh God.
Talking Dead.
I get too angry thinking about it. The fucker went on the Talking Dead and actually said about how he made a direct reference to a massive event in the comics about Glenn. I'm not going to say what it is because if people don't know what it is in the comics, it's not fair to spoil it. And he says these things like they're a joke, and he is shitting all over his fans. He's literally laying down his fans and he's shitting on them.
I've told you this.
By coming out with these things.
He's an asshole.
And the whole bullshit about the way the way Glenn's, oh, is he dead? Is he not dead? I mean, and then like 4 episodes in between, like, what the fuck was all that about, man? I mean, Jesus Christ.
Awesome.
So yeah, I don't. I'm aware of the Talking Dead. I've seen clips, but no, I can't watch it.
I watched the Talking Dead that night because I had heard that when somebody dies on The Walking Dead, they are on the couch on the Talking Dead. So I say, right, I'm going to watch this tonight, and I'm going to see how they deal with this. Out of morbid curiosity. Plus, everybody goes on about Chris Hardwick being the fucking king of the nerds, and he's made a business out of being a nerd, and he's just a fucking tit. He comes on, and he's all like, "Oh, Glenn's dead," but then, like, Glenn's not on the couch.
Yeah.
He's not in the memoriam where they fucking... obviously, they do the memoriam where they show all the dead walkers and then anybody who died in the show. He's not in there. And then he's got an email from Kirkman saying, fucking, it's okay, we will see Glenn again, possibly in a flashback. And it's like, you know, like you say, what are you doing?
Why would you do that, yeah?
What are you doing?
And by the time they finally, showed us what happened, we just didn't give a shit. I
remember when we spoke to the Jock and Nerd about it, and Imran's like, but everybody's talking about it. It's like, yeah, everybody is talking about it for the wrong fucking reason.
Yep, exactly.
They completely screwed that. They just need to kill Glenn.
But you know how I shared the thing on the Facebook page the other day, how Kirkman had said we need to be... We need to be hard. He
wants to kill people now.
Yeah.
Aye, fuck him.
And, I shared it and said, well, fucking strap on a pair and do it then, because you've not, other than, like, bit part characters like Everybody Hates Chris, you're not killing off any main characters. There is no drama, there's no sort of risk, really, to the main characters. We said... As soon as we both watched that episode, I'm sure you were the same, Haze. As soon as that episode aired, we said, no, Glenn's dead.
You've not killed Glenn, and you certainly haven't killed him that way, which, as we have both agreed, it would have been the perfect way to kill him.
Well, I said to you on the season before when Daryl was in the car, and was it in the valley? The bit where
the wolves had the lorries.
That's the one. And he was completely... just absolutely surrounded by walkers. He was in the car. There was no way out. That's how you kill Daryl. That would be an acceptable death for Daryl.
Yeah,
anyway.
I mean, with Glenn, like you said there, Kev, it was the perfect way to kill him, and they actually led up towards it, doing all the right things. They had the callback, the callback to the first episode. Way back in season 1, where Glenn actually saves Rick when he goes in the tank. Yeah, and he he calls over on the radio to the tank. They actually did a callback to that.
He calls him asshole or something.
He calls him dumbass.
Yeah, exactly. And they did a callback to that, and you're thinking these are all brilliant sort of little exit strategy moments for Glenn, and we're being confronted with these memories. We're seeing Maggie's sort of preparing for actually grieving, unlike the way that Maggie was about her sister the whole way through the previous season. But we'll move on from that.
The sister she forgot she had.
Yeah, the sister that she didn't give a flying fuck about until someone. Oh my god! And then it's like
awesome.
And so they this is. The classic example of why they just drop the ball so often, because they go through all this stuff with Glenn, and it's like, right, this is actually a decent way for Glenn to go. They just rip all that up, and it's like, right, so what happens if Glenn dies now? Do we have a big moment? Because you can't, because you've already used it all up. You've already tugged at the heartstrings.
Even the way, like you say, no spoilers, but even like you say, in the comic, the thing with Glenn, they can't do that now.
Nah, absolutely not.
It's going to mean nothing now. Doesn't mean a thing, because they've bait and switched him every series since the fucking programme began. And it's about time they just get rid of him and just be like, right, that's him done. And I don't even think they have to make a thing of it anymore. Just go.
That's kind of what the show's become, though, isn't it? With the main characters, the main roster sort of thing is.
Well, they're getting
they'll try and pretend that something's happening to them, but it's not. It's like, I know you don't like it, but it's like this sort of iteration kind of thing of Doctor Who, where they kept on killing off, Rory and Amy about fucking 5 or 6 times throughout the series.
Means nothing to me.
Shut up. But they kept on bringing them back. There was just no danger to them because you knew that they weren't going to be killed. So it didn't mean anything.
They're getting that way.
It's the same thing.
If they really want to impress, like me, I think if they want to just impress all the Walking Dead fans, and I know they're not going to do it, but I would love the second half of the season to come back. First episode, Rick dies. That would shock the absolute fuck out of me, and they would have my attention for another 10 series because they killed Rick. But they're not going to do it.
They're not. No, there's no way in hell that's happening.
Yeah, they won't do that, because I think The Walking Dead, certainly with the comic, is kind of very, it's very Carl centric, and I think you take Rick away, it spells trouble for Carl as being a central character. But those two seem like they're kind of unkillable. So whenever we see them in dire situations, you never get bothered.
Yeah.
which is a big problem.
But it was like, even like you're saying there, that the last episode, you know, when they all like put the vampire guts, you know, and they put all the zombie guts on themselves.
Yeah.
And they all walked out of the house, and they were making this slow motion thing, and they were like walking through the zombies. And that little twat's like, man, I was literally sat there thinking, wow, you're in a herd of zombies again with zombie guts all over you again. Bothered. Like, it just doesn't seem like a big fucking thing to me anymore.
No, and you also sat there thinking, why aren't they doing this to get out of every fucking zombie situation they ever get in? Because they did it several seasons ago and then seemed to just completely forget. You know, I mean, what about the thing that Michonne did when we first got introduced to her, when she had a couple of walkers
that's right,
coming around with her, with their teeth pulled out because, you know, and it worked, but no, let's just completely forget about that.
Because Michonne's grown now, she's a bit more humanized now, so she can't do that anymore, which is fucking bullshit.
Exactly. These people are survivors, and they need to be.
But they only seem to be survivors when they bump into a bunch of fucktards. Like if they bump into a bunch of absolute idiots who cannot fend for themselves, that's when they become survivors. Yeah. Any other time, they're just a bunch of people sitting around campfire singing Kumbaya.
And then when they do bump into a bunch of idiots, let's remind the viewers that we're dealing with a bunch of idiots who don't know what the real world is like. About 500 times per episode for an entire series.
You don't know what it's like out there. I love it. I do love it. It's fucking great. Oh man, I'm still gonna watch it.
Yeah, I'm still gonna watch it, and I'm gonna moan about it.
Well,
I'm gonna get more grey hairs.
We'll come back on, and we'll put it back to rights when we get.
Oh yeah, I think you need to get back on and talk about The Walking Dead more.
I'm up for that.
That's done. That's done. We'll chalk that in the calendar.
Before we go to the news, let's do some listener feedback.
Oh, we've got listener feedback.
I forgot all about it.
Well, before we do that, I just want to let everybody know that we're on the networks. You can find us on all the networks. We're on Danger Entertainment. We're on Wicked Radio Network. We're on the Weeby Geeks. That's a pretty cool website. Everybody's on there. We're on nerdly.co.uk, our British home. However, I got an email this morning. Everybody got an email this morning, and it's a little bit sad news. Our first network that we joined, Musings of the Geek, is closing down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Musings was the first network that took us on.
And, you know, when they took us on, we were still newbies, and
I think we were like 8 episodes in. We didn't even have an intro yet.
We were made up like bastards. And
I was buzzing. I was like, oh wow, these Americans think we're like good enough to be on the network. But then everybody started accepting us, and it's like, it's just the dumb thing.
No, it's not. It's because we're cool.
But yeah, so Musings of the Geek, I'm not sure when it's going down, but it will be going down soon. And I just want to wish Dan all the best, man. Just fucking what you're doing is awesome. Just crack on, mate.
Yep, thank you for your help, and good luck.
You had poop shoots.
We've got poop shoots. So yeah,
poop shoots is our version of feedback, because we could not think of anything else at the time, and we were pretty drunk.
Well,
I like it. It's good.
Or you were high. I can't remember which.
One of the two.
Was it one of the two?
No, it's not high. Don't say high. Make me sound like a Seaview druggie.
Well,
we say like heavily medicated.
That's what we call it before going to rehab. Right, okay, so as you know, we were talking about...
before we got tangented on Walking Dead, which, by the way, I knew was going to happen.
Yeah,
that was good. I did enjoy you having a rant there. That was good, because it's normally me.
It is normally you.
So first of all, Chris number 3, Chris Aitchison, said everything or something on the old Ataris, fuck knows what. He's been gaming since the age of 3 or 4, and now at the grand old age of 36. Favourite game Halo 2, online and single player game. Favourite single player game would be Fallout 3. Laser Squad. Back in the 90s. Whatever.
You took real care with his poop shoots.
It's a bit rambly.
He's a bit dyslexic. Just crack on.
I feel like a prick now.
He's not really. I just said that.
To make me feel like a prick.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. So Devon, his first game was Tiger Electronics. Oh, it's an LCD handheld game, Sonic the Hedgehog.
Okay.
That must have been pre-Master System.
It was probably pre-Stone Age, because Dev's pretty old.
Oh, you got beef for Devon, you?
Oh, there's beef.
Well, he's got beef for you, my friend.
We'll fucking get to that beef.
His last game was FIFA 15, and his favourite game, old school, was Pac-Man. And currently... he's hobbied it as well. Currently is Assassin's Creed. Fair enough.
Bit generic Assassin's Creed. Definitely a Marvel fan. Crack on.
Yeah, nothing wrong with a Marvel fan, as we all know. So we had some feedback from the lads at the Free Trade Bee. See what have we got first.
The ever famous Free Trade Bee.
Exactly. Best pool team in Berwick.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
By the way, we were talking about merch, and we were talking about getting like 365 Flicks podcast like t-shirts that we could wear to the Comic Cons and stuff. And you were on about quotes. I want allegedly.
Allegedly.
Because I feel that's my quote now.
Is it?
Yeah. Because I don't want to get sued, so you just slap allegedly on the end.
So Chris Meekin said Crash Bandicoot was his favourite game, and the last game he played was Gears of War. Aaron said Spyro the Dragon was his first game. Bless him, he's young.
He is young, isn't he?
Polygons. Is your first game.
tell us about it.
And the last game he played was Deadpool. Wow. No, he tells a lie. The last game he played was The Last of Us. Mark said Mario and Mario Kart. And Paul Burns said the first Super Mario as his first game, and the last game was Black Ops 3. And his favourite game was Mario Kart on the N64.
Can I just point out?
You can.
We do poop shoots now, and you always get the free trade, the best team in the Berwick area.
Yep.
Allegedly. You always get them to do the poop shoots. I think that's the first time Paul Burns ever taken that serious.
Didn't he say a Christmas movie and he said fucking Tropic Thunder?
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
Aye. That's the first time he's ever taken... And you know why it was? Because it was a gaming thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He might even listen to the episode.
Probably.
Nah, we've all had a drink.
We've all had a drink. Let's not get unrealistic here.
Adrian King said first game was Pac-Man for the Commodore 64. His most recent game was Fallout 4. And his favourite game was Mario 3. Brigger, his last game was 2K16. Best game was Super Mario World for the Super Nintendo. And worst game, E.T. on the Atari.
Yeah, I asked him if he saw the documentary. Did you see the documentary about E.T.?
Haven't seen it, but there was lots of copies buried in the desert, wasn't there?
It was
cool.
really interesting, actually. I
Cool.
did watch that.
Brigger said he got he got a bit bored. I can understand why you would get bored. He is American,
Well, they've all got the ADHD, haven't they? So
there was no explosions or anything like that.
All Americans.
So they need their adverts every 10 minutes. So
and we know he's a diva, so he's probably
a bit
making
of a
demands, and he couldn't hear the TV.
But did you watch the documentary? I thought it was a really good documentary. It was a shame they didn't find a massive cache of them, because did they not just find 2 or 3 cartridges?
They found a few of them.
But it was the whole thing about how those games were getting made back then. When they were basically free-loving hippies, weren't they? Living in the sort of the original sort of Google building.
Yeah, they were doing the thing and then just getting shit-faced.
Aye. That sounds fucking awesome. That's how we should do the podcast. Kind of is how we do the podcast.
You're away from that now, aren't you?
Yeah, not far off. So let's do some news.
Let's do some news.
Is the poop shoots.
Hey there, kids. Do you want to hear a show where a bunch of guys sit around in a comic book store and talk about comics and lifestyle choices, other goofy things and shenanigans they get up to? Then
when have we ever talked about comics? Usually it's people sitting on my lap and riding the struggle bus.
That's true. It's mostly shenanigans. But occasionally we talk about comics. And if you like any of those things, comics, shenanigans, Devin's lap, then you need to check out Snake Oil Comics with me, Travis, and my beautiful co-host, Big Dev.
Find us on iTunes, Stitcher, and snakeoilcomics.com.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum!
Astro Radio Z is a horror, cult, exploitation film podcast hosted by me, Derek Carey. I was one of those monster kids growing up. The one that used to sit in the back end of that video store and scour over every single last film cover you saw back there, from the slashers to the monsters to the sleazy stuff. Yeah, I was freaking obsessed. And I still am. So much so I became a filmmaker myself. Now I bring on all my filmmaker friends, critics, musicians, and any other fans of the dark arts, which are horror, exploitation, and cult film. Are you one of these people? Then tune in and listen to my show, Astro Radio Z.
Do you have anything that you saw, Chris, that you wanted to bring up, like games, movies, TV, anything?
I guess in terms of games, what I've been seeing a lot of at the moment is talk of a new Nintendo console.
I saw that.
Which is the Nintendo NX. As it's, I don't know whether that's a finalized name or kind of a code name at the moment. But I, for one, I'm a big Wii U fan, and I don't think there's been enough of a chance or enough time for the Wii U. Personally, I think it's too early. I think Nintendo will get absolutely destroyed by Sony and Microsoft if they pull the trigger now. There's a lot of interesting possibilities. They're talking about the console being kind of mobile oriented, and it kind of an all-in-one solution where you'll have games you can play on the go, games you play, and you kind of bring the console literally back and connect it up to your TV and stuff. Don't know how it's all going to work. I think it's too soon. I love Nintendo. Want nothing but the best for them.
They need to make a comeback.
Yeah, they need a big comeback.
They do, but how they go about doing that when you've got Sony selling like 8 million PS4s a minute, it's I don't understand what they're thinking is behind pulling the trigger potentially this year on a new console, but we'll see.
Year. Wow.
They're talking about it being this year, yeah. There's strong rumours it's going to be by the end of the year, but I don't know. But I guess that's the most interesting bit of gaming news. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah,
we don't get any gaming news.
We don't really tend to do the gaming, do we? Like on the news.
I can't really think of any gaming news.
I did like I mentioned to the guys before we started recording. I have got like a list of games that are getting made into movies. That's not really news, though. We'll talk about that later.
Talk about that later.
Game wise, I never really saw much. No,
not really. I mean, that's the thing with the next gen consoles is you find that it kind of goes quiet.
When everybody realizes that they've spent way too much money on a machine that just doesn't have anything going for it yet.
Shut up! You're playing Arkham Knight.
Because you know what it is. I bought the PS4. I bought the PS4 when it came out. I loved it for like a month. Right enough, I got rid of it to buy the equipment so we could do this kind of thing, And then I bought an Xbox One because it was nice and cheap. But again, Xbox One. It's not really got much going for it either. And I don't really understand what's going on with the new next-gen consoles. I got the Wii U for the bends. I'm thoroughly enjoying playing the Wii U.
So have you guys played that Mario Maker?
I have Mario Maker. It's fantastic.
Really?
It's it's top 3 games on the Wii U for me.
Because that would be like one of the reasons that I would actually buy the Wii U is because that game.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. Kev, I recommend it if you've got a Wii U. It's absurdly easy to actually make your own levels. I've made quite a few on there. Now I'm a guy who played through all the Little Big Planet games, which are kind of similar sort of idea. But for me, Sony didn't really nail the level creation stuff. It was great playing other people's levels, but I literally couldn't be asked to make one level of my own with Little Big Planet, and that's through playing through all of them. Plus, the platforming mechanics were spongy and shite. Whereas with Mario, it's Mario. It's the best platformer there is. And Chris, I know you were talking earlier about Mario Brothers 3 on the NES. Well, you can make on Mario Maker. You make levels which are based on either the first Mario Brothers 3, and then Mario World on the SNES. So like 3 different kind of eras. 4 different eras because there's the kind of new Super Mario Brothers that's been on the the DS and the.
Was that the one that's all sort of shiny 3D and stuff? Yeah.
It's really good. And some of the things people do on it is really quite something. I mean, one of my mates, called Simon, he made a couple of levels that are kind of like single screen puzzle levels. Just using them, the items and things you can lay down in ways that Nintendo never did in the Mario games. It's fantastic. It's endless sort of fun you can have just jumping online, playing people's levels.
It is something that I do fancy trying.
Can't recommend it enough. If you've got a Wii U, you've got to have it.
Yeah. It's kind of. I keep saying to the wife that we need that, and we need to like actually invest in Mario Kart because we still don't have Mario Kart.
I love Mario Kart.
You can't have a Wii without a fucking Mario Kart.
The only thing I would say about Mario Kart is there is no game when I'm playing it that I simultaneously love and fucking despise at the same time, because there is nothing worse than having, frequent races. I'll be online, right? And whenever I play it, I tend to play online against people, and the standard's quite high. It's, and I'll be 2 laps in, and I'm thinking, I'm cruising along here, I'm loving it, and then some fucker will send a blue shell,
the blue shell,
absolutely obliterate us, and people go sailing past us, and another red shell, and then someone fires another one, and I'm just sat there going. And I just want to fling my controller in the TV screen and just like rip my eyes out of my sockets and just stamp feed the remains to my cat, you know,
that's the way you're supposed to play Mario Kart, though. It's a game that is best played angry.
I get more angry playing Mario Kart than I ever did playing Call of Duty, you know. But the highs are just worth it.
I need to get Mario Kart. I keep on saying to her, we need to get it. She keeps on saying to me, we need to get it, but we haven't pulled the trigger on it yet. But I'll get Mario Maker.
Do let me know when you get it, and then we can hook up and try each other's levels out and whatnot.
My levels will just be like not very fucking creative. It'll just be like,
mate, you'd be surprised. That's what I thought as well. But the more you play other people's levels, you think, oh, yeah, I could do that, and then before you know it, you'll be crafting something yourself. It will surprise you how because they kind of drip feed the mechanics to you. So they don't just throw everything at you at once and say, "Yeah, here's everything. Just see what you can do," so you don't get overwhelmed. It'll literally sort of start off with, right, here's a couple of platforms. You can put a coin. You can put a coin here. You can put a question mark box here. You can do this, and it gradually teaches you. And but the further you get into the game, the more competent you become, and by the time you can actually do everything in the game, you're well versed enough to be able to put together some decent levels. Yeah.
So the news.
Yeah, a couple of bits of depressing news to start with. Just because why not?
Don't get depressing on me.
First one is R.I.P. Terry Wogan.
Oh yeah. Another one. British institution, you know.
So
can you do your best Terry Wogan?
How are you? How are you?
Was he Irish?
Yeah, wasn't he?
Was he Irish?
He was Irish, yeah.
That was the worst.
How are you?
No, you've got to be like all. You've got to have honey on your voice and like
Eurovision Song Contest. So it is.
What the fuck?
That's it. That's Terry Wogan.
He doesn't sound like Anthony Cotton. He sounds
Who the
like
fuck is Anthony Cotton?
He sounds loads like Jerry Adams from
That'll do.
From Sinn Féin.
That was it. Sinn Féin.
Weetabix.
You always say Weetabix when you fucking do that accent. Why is that?
Because Catherine Tate said that's the way to get a Northern Irish accent.
What, Weetabix?
Say Weetabix.
Weetabix.
And so, how are you? That's my Terry Wogan. But he's dead now, so we'll not do that. So next bit of depressing news is, Bret Hart's got the prostate cancer.
Oh, man. Fucking cancer, man. Fucking, what is going on?
I know.
It's kicking the shit out of everyone right now. You know what it is? I didn't even know Terry Wogan was ill.
Well, we didn't know Alan Rickman was ill.
Well, we didn't know that. No, Alan Rickman.
We didn't know David Bowie was ill.
Fucking 2016, suck a dick, like.
Legends, they keep it to themselves.
Totally agree.
A little bit hint when you're whinging about having the cold, Kev.
It's the cancer.
Wow, that's not where I was going. I didn't imply you had the cancer.
So I'm thinking about buying one of those Stephen Amell t-shirts. Have you seen the Stephen Amell t-shirts?
Oh, Team Amell. Aye.
Like the fuck cancer t-shirts.
Yeah, I do like that.
I'm thinking we need to get some of them and just be like,
I do quite like that.
Fuck cancer.
Mm-hmm. I'm a bit partial to buying a t-shirt on the Facebooks these days.
You definitely are. What about the fuck Marvel t-shirts? Are you going to get one of them?
Fuck yourself.
Can you explain that? I was actually going to ask you guys about this because I think you'll be able to fill us in. What is that all about? The whole fuck Marvel thing?
The fuck
Kev being a dick.
No, the fuck Marvel thing is that DC and their infinite wisdom, because let's be honest, DC are kind of knocking it out of the park with their marketing campaign right now for the Batman, Superman, Suicide Squad. They're doing a good job right now. You have to admit that.
Well, they've released a couple of trailers.
And we were like, DC. So what they did was they got like Jared Leto, they got Margot Robbie, Henry Cavill. I think Gal Gadot had one. Aquaman's got one, and the best of all, fucking your man Ben Affleck. And they're all walking around with their character t-shirts, and it basically says fuck Marvel. They're just firing shots at Marvel because why the fuck not? It's just it's genius. I love it.
It's not genius. It's fucking petty and pissy.
Oh, because Marvel's not petty or pissy.
You don't get fucking Tony Stark. I forgot his name. Robert Downey Jr. going about with a thing with fuck DC on his thing. He's too classy for that shit, Kev.
They're walking around wearing fuck Marvel t-shirts, and I want the Joker one. Quite like the Harley Quinn one, but I'll probably look like a girl wearing a Harley Quinn one. But Affleck, though. Dude was in a Marvel movie. Like, quite a big Marvel movie.
Yeah, it was a shit Marvel movie.
brings us back to a Kevin Smith stalwart.
Kevin Smith, I don't know.
I didn't want to go through this whole episode without mentioning Kevin Smith.
I know.
Because I think about you every time I see a Kevin Smith film.
I know, like, I was a huge Kevin Smith fan, and I still... Right, let's get on the record with Kevin Smith. He's too... Like, I started listening to his podcast, and I love all the movies he's made up until a certain point. Like, probably Zack and Miri was the last proper good one. I like Clerks 2 as well. Did that come after Zack and Miri? Clerks 2 was awesome.
I don't know.
But his podcast, he just does so much dick sucking. It's unreal. Like, you can't love everything just because you loved it as a child. He's so unapologetic about everything, and it's getting annoying. This is the man who, when Daredevil came out, he loved Daredevil, doesn't want to talk about Daredevil anymore.
That's Hollywood though, isn't it? There's a lot of... It's just basically endless backslapping.
But he's been riding the Marvel train with Stan Lee for the last couple of years. Like, he's proper been hitting the Marvel trail. DC does a big fucking thing. They do that big night on the CW channel where they had arrows on, and then they showed the new Batman Superman trailer, and they have Kevin Smith stood there with Jeff Johns the whole night, basically filleting the fucking guy on TV.
Yeah, you're allowed to like Marvel and DC at the same time, you know.
That's fine. That is totally fine by me. I'm done. I'm kind of done with him, if I'm honest. Which is a shame, because he's got Clerks 3 coming.
Oh, Clerks 3. Really?
Clerks 3 me. Clerks is the best thing he's ever done.
It is, but it worries me. Because
it's worrying, but Clerks 2 was awesome.
It was good. It wasn't as good as the first Clerks.
Yeah, it wasn't as good. Nah, it wasn't as good. But it was just nice to see Randall on screen again.
Yeah, Randall is probably my favourite Kevin Smith character.
Oh, he's
out of any film he's done.
So while we're on the fuck Marvel trail, I do have one thing I'm a little bit gutted about. Have you seen what rating Deadpool is getting in the UK?
15.
I honestly thought that was going to be like a solid 18.
That's the uncut version too.
That's the uncut version.
Yeah.
I honestly thought Deadpool...
That means the US isn't getting the uncut version, and we are, and it's a 15.
But they're getting like a rated R movie. Rated R, that's an 18 for us. Surely, isn't it?
Well, apparently not, because it's... I mean, if we're getting the uncut version and the Americans aren't, then we're getting more fucked up shit than they are.
But it's a 15. This worries me. Because it does.
You can get away with a load of shit on a 15.
You can.
Of course you can.
I wanted a solid 18 for this movie.
Well, too bad. You're not getting it.
Where do you weigh in on this, Chris? Are you looking forward to Deadpool?
I'm not that into superhero films. Yeah, I know that. I know that a bit. I know that might be a bit sacrilege, but I mean, I'm a huge fan of the Christopher Nolan Batman films. I mean, they're amazing. I've watched them, quite a few times. But yes, so many of them just disappoint me. There was one that I really enjoyed. I can't remember what it was, but it was kind of semi-serious with like a noir kind of feel.
You're not going to see the Spirit, are you?
No, it had various characters and kind of like a grim. They were all living in sort of grim conditions.
Sin City.
Not Sin City.
Watchmen. They're kind of gritty.
Watchmen. That was it. Watchmen. Yeah. Watchmen's another one that I really enjoyed.
Yeah, Watchmen is good.
The Superman reboot. Not so long back. Yeah, it was okay. I'm off the show on it.
Fuck coming back for The Walking Dead, you're done. No, it's okay not to be a fan of superhero movies. I mean, you're in the minority, but it's okay.
I'm just waiting to be wowed again. I mean, like I say, the Batman films raised the bar for me to the point where I thought, right, this is the standard for me now.
Oh yeah, The Dark Knight is the gold standard of comic book superhero movies now. It is.
Yeah,
nothing's going to touch it.
And I can rewatch that film. The Dark Knight's easily the best of the three. I mean,
100%.
Heath Ledger. I mean, what? Yeah, I mean, how anyone can ever play the Joker ever again effectively is beyond me.
Do you think Jared's going to get anywhere near it?
No, I really don't.
It's a totally different take, though.
It is. I think he's going to be good. You know that scene in the new trailer where he's kind of lying on his back with the knives? That looks cool.
Have you seen the Batman Superman trailer?
I haven't seen the newest one.
Oh man,
I've seen a bit. I will be watching that. I will be watching Batman Superman because I love Ben Affleck. You know, I'm excited to see what he's going to be like.
Who doesn't? He was the bomb in Phantoms.
Yeah, I absolutely love Ben Affleck. He's one of my favourite actors, to be honest, over so many films from over the years. But yeah,
Geely, you big fan of Geely?
Geely.
Geely, big fan of Kevin Smith's Jersey Girls. Or Jersey Girls. Jersey Girl, that was it. I'm just trying to name some of his worst films now. But again, he was the bomb in Phantoms.
Good Will Hunting.
You're not moving on to a bit of news because I have one that came out today and I'm so pumped. The Power Rangers reboot. Right? Because you know I love Power Rangers.
Yeah.
Big fan. Has got its Rita Repulsa. Have you seen who's going to play Rita Repulsa?
Elizabeth Banks.
Elizabeth Banks.
Yeah.
Put her in the Banks.
You know, if they did the new Power Rangers movie in the sort of same vein as that fan film,
the Adi Shankar
that
thing.
came out, was it last year?
That would be amazing.
That would be cool.
With
I'd
Dawson.
watch that shit. I would.
I would if it had the Dawson in it, because I'm a big fan of the Dawson.
I know you are.
Chris knows I'm a big fan of the Dawson. He remembers that way back.
Yeah. Oh man, here's a little story for you then.
I don't know if I want to hear it.
To be fair, it's not a great story, but you remember the classic. I think it might have been from just season 1 of Dawson's Creek, but the Paula Cole theme tune. I don't want to wait. Remember that? Yeah. Well, my little brother Luke, he was coming over many years ago now with his then girlfriend at the time to meet me for the first time, and obviously I wanted to embarrass the shit out of him. So literally, as him and his lass were walking through the house, I started playing that song. And he wasn't with her very long.
Yeah. See, if that had been me, I'd have been looking at my then girlfriend and I'd be like, oh man, this is my jam. Shows the balls.
Never watched it.
There's something wrong with you. You didn't play very many games. You didn't have an N64. You never played GoldenEye and you didn't watch Dawson's Creek. What did you do?
But he did play Mario Brothers 3. That's crucial. And Duck Hunt.
That's crucial. Lizzie Banks. Woo. Yeah. I'm happy about that. But I know what you mean. If they did you see the fan film with the guy that made the Power Rangers fan film? It was Adi Shankar. It was fucking awesome. Like, it's brutal as shit. Like, it's got Katie Sackhoff, the Dawson. What's his real name again?
James Van Der Beek.
That's the one. That's the one. The Dawson. We'll just call him the Dawson.
Why am I telling you that? Yes.
It slipped my mind for a second. Forgive me. It's allowed. But it was quite like a grim sort of realistic take on Power Rangers.
Yeah.
And I recommend you go and have a look for it on YouTube if you can find it.
To be honest, I do like those sort of the like realistic sort of parodies of things. Like there's a great Pokemon one. If you like Pokemon, where you've got like Pokemon just like ripping each other to bits and stuff.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Jesus. Yeah, I don't like that kind of thing.
Okay.
I got upset by the fucking CGI Velociraptors in Jurassic World, for God's sake.
You did, didn't you? Oh, bless you. Carry on.
When they had their heads in the vices, I didn't like that. It upset me. Shut up. So, House of Cards is getting a season 5.
Is he? Is Jai McCourtney going into that?
What?
I'm sure. No, not Jai Courtney. It's the other one. Joel Kinnaman, the guy who's playing Rick Flag in the Suicide Squad. He's going into House of Cards.
That was in Warrior?
No, that was Joel Edgerton.
All right.
Kinnaman was the one that played RoboCop.
Oh yeah.
In the reboot.
Oh.
Yeah, he's got. So you've got generic turd-faced Kinnaman going into House of Cards. Well,
could have been worse. It could have been McCourtney.
I don't know, because see, watching that last Suicide Squad trailer, I'm kind of feeling.
Is it when he sort of had a cheeky swig of the Fosters?
Not even that. It's when he's in the bag on the floor, and they open the bag and he just jumps out and fucking smacks the guy, and then he smacks the next guy. I was kind of like, I don't know. Jai Courtney looks like he might.
You're starting to like Jai McCourtney now.
I wouldn't go that far. I'm just saying, Die Hard 5 might not have been as bad as we thought.
Anyway, so yeah, the movie that's out right now, or about to be, with what's his name, Zac Efron and De Niro, Bad Grandpa, is absolutely tanking like a fleet of Russian tanks.
Tanking like a fleet of Russian. Yeah.
See, the fact that they called it, I mean, I think it was it Dirty Grandpa they called it, or something?
It's Dirty Grandpa. Bad Grandpa's the Knoxville.
The fact they called it that annoyed me, because, I mean, I'm a big fan of Jackass, and,
It's not Bad Grandpa.
Yeah.
Dirty Grandpa. Is it? What?
Bad Grandpa was the Jackass one.
Oh, dear.
Dirty Grandpa's the De Niro one.
All right, bygones, okay.
Yeah.
that
So,
one.
when I saw that, I just thought, why have you called it that? I mean, it's way too close to Bad Grandpa, and you're going to get people you're going to get people
making ass of themselves like me just now.
But I've got no desire to see that film.
It's got a 7% fresh rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
It looks terrible.
And
That means it's got less than Fantastic. Does that not?
You've listened to the Drunken Nerd too.
Have I?
Yeah.
That was a pretty good episode, actually.
It was. Have you seen the trailer for Bad Neighbours 2?
Yes. It looks very much
What
like
is
Bad
going
Neighbours.
on? What is going on with Zac Efron? Because he looks a bit fake and plasticky.
I think he's looking damn good. I think he's looking...
His eyes look like a fucking mannequin's creepy eyes. It's just he just looks fake.
No, he's looking
he doesn't
alright.
look real.
I'll be honest with you, I might be in the minority here, but I'm kind of feeling Zac Efron right now. Like, not as in, like, fancying him and stuff.
Are you sure?
But I'm quite liking some of the movies he's making right now. I'm alright with Zac Efron. No desire to see this De Niro wank, because he's not made a good movie since fucking Godfather Part 2. You know?
What about Meet the Fuckers?
You know what it is? We could do an episode where we just rant about things that we want to rant about all day long, but we're not doing that. Meet the Fuckers, no. I'm alright with Zac Efron. I'm looking forward to Bad Neighbours 2.
To me, just when I watched that trailer, which you're right enough, it does look just like Bad Neighbours.
Oh, it's the same film.
When he first gets out of the limo or the car or whatever it was, I just kind of thought, is that like a robot?
It's just because he's just looking damn fine.
Fine.
I even went American there.
Oh. Wow, okay. That's what happened. So have you got anything else?
The only thing I had was, what's her name? Toni Collette's going into Triple X3, because I know how much you love Triple X movies.
Like what? Like
the Vin Diesel movie.
Oh,
Triple
okay.
X.
I thought we were talking about something completely different there.
No, you know that Toni Collette, who's won like an Oscar, and like she's been nominated like for Oscars, and she is an amazing actress.
Lots of people have won Oscars.
Well,
not Leo.
it turns out that she's not above doing a Triple X movie.
Wow.
Yeah.
But she's not been working that much lately, has she? What did she win the Oscar for?
Probably for playing a whiny lesbian or something, I don't know.
That Australian one. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, so, right, okay. You know how they're making Robin Hood oranges, right?
Robin Hood oranges.
With Taron, what's his name from Kingsman?
Edgerton.
And Jamie Foxx, apparently.
Yeah.
When I was listening back to our episode, is he playing Fire Truck... Fire Truck.
He's playing Fire Truck 52 in Chicago PD. No, he's
or the perverted version. Try a fuck.
No, he's playing Little John.
Little John, right? Because I said Fire Truck.
Did you?
I got it right that time. There you
Silly
go.
bastard.
I know, right? Yeah.
So
but,
who is playing Fire Truck?
I don't know.
Oh man,
fuck you! You can edit that, can't you? But you're not going to, are you?
No way I'm editing that bit.
Motherfucker. But they're making Robin Hood 2058, apparently. It's Robin Hood in the future.
How's that going to work?
Apparently it's going to be about an MI5 agent who...
Oh, fuck off.
who just sort of goes off on one and starts avenging the futuristic Sheriff of Nottingham, I guess.
Sounds horrific.
It sounds awful.
Why?
But in a world where
this has been greenlit, by the way. This is happening.
Yeah, it's when we do things like this and we do like this show that I realise how much I just hate Hollywood.
There's a lot of this at the minute. Things getting sort of resurrected that really don't need to, like 24 and talking about The Sopranos. I mean, what are they doing?
Yeah, we kind of went off on that one.
Yeah, I can join you on that. Sopranos, by the way, is probably my favourite TV show ever.
Yeah.
And to see it even being discussed, let alone planned, and getting beyond a room, where some insane people, just urinate.
It's amazing.
Because some dickhead didn't understand the ending, so he wants to remake it.
I'm Val Kilmer.
But how could you not understand the ending?
It's your own understanding.
That's it. It's what you make of the end.
Exactly. It's the ending to The Sopranos is one of the finest bits of TV ever made.
Apart from Lost.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm sorry, but to question that, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
You're an absolute idiot. And Val Kilmer.
Speaking
right,
of
don't get started. You've covered this already. Yeah,
this guy should have been on the show ages ago.
Speaking of Val Kilmer, though, I've been going through a little bit of a horror kick. Like, you know how sometimes every now and then I get a little bit bored of the normal movies, so like I'll go through Netflix and I'll root through the horror section.
Yeah,
I watched one last night called The Traveller. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
The Traveller. And it had Val Kilmer in it. And I was like, I'll watch Val Kilmer movie because he's all bloated and he's not Batman anymore, so I'll watch it. And the real thing that kept me watching it was because, like, he's like this, he's a traveller, and he walks into a police station, and there's like a police detective who, for about 10 minutes, I thought was Chris O'Donnell. So I thought this could get really interesting because we might get some Batman fucking Forever references going here, which would have been awesome, like bat nips and stuff.
No, you know what? A normal person would have said, no, fuck that shit. But you kept on watching it just in case the director was so much of a prick that he said, oh, we're going to write something like put the back credit card in there.
That would have been awesome.
That was George Clooney, wasn't it?
So anyway, he's like a traveller. He goes in, and it turns out that the detective's daughter got kidnapped. They beat the fuck out of some guy who's like a nobody, and they call Val Kilmer Mr. Nobody. And then he starts giving confessions in the police station, but when he's given a confession, one of the police officers dies. And I kept watching it because I thought it might be one of those things where they're already in purgatory and this is how they're going to die sort of thing and cross over. No, none of that shit. It was actually quite a serious horror movie. It just made no fucking sense. Just, by the by. I also watched the Poltergeist remake with Sam Rockwell slumming it in a horror movie. Big fan of Sam Rockwell? Huge.
He's alright.
Huge Sam Rockwell fan. Watch a movie called Confessions of a Dangerous Mind, and you'll change your view on Sam Rockwell. Honestly, you'll change your view. You'll fucking love him for the rest of your days.
Noting it down, I haven't seen it. Confessions of a Dangerous Mind.
Yeah, it was the first movie that George Clooney directed. He's also in it. Sam Rockwell is just a fucking star in that movie.
That must be on Netflix or Amazon Prime or something.
It must be
I've
somewhere.
got them both. Sure, it's on one of them.
Have you got Amazon Prime?
Yeah. I know.
Pretentious fuck. I didn't think anybody had
You're the one who
Amazon
went,
Prime.
eee! So, I mean, you're the pretentious one, isn't it? Arsehole.
Amazon fuck. What was you wanting to do? Watch Bosch?
I watched The Man in the High Castle, which is awesome.
I thought you were going to say, yeah, I did watch Bosch, actually.
The fuck is Bosch?
Got the Man in Black from Lost in it.
Right, so we're now going to talk about the shittest, seems we've had the shittest crack ever from Kev there. We're going to talk about the shittest gaming movies ever made, according to us.
And we are interrupting episode 27. We have a bit of a call to action. A couple of weeks back, I mentioned this to you, Chris. I got a message on the old Twitter sphere from a Mr. Peter Kendall of the HD1Jump, the weekly Jump podcast, gaming podcast, asking if we would help promote. How would you say this?
It's a charity stream.
It's a charity stream. Me and Chris have kind of been touching on sort of this kind of thing over the last few months. So when you kind of shot it over, I was like, oh, of course we'll promote the shit out of that. We'll talk about that. Sounds right up our street.
Oh, yeah.
So basically, you're playing painfully bad games?
Yes, this stream is called, excuse me, Painful Games Done Slowly, where for 12 hours we will be playing painfully bad and painfully difficult games to raise money for local children's hospitals through Child's Play charity organization.
And do you think you'll make the full 12 hours?
Yes, actually. This is our second year. It's our annual tradition now. The first year we did it just ourselves out of a basement of a friend's house, and we did it. We did 24 hours, and it was rough.
Yeah,
24 hours. Wow.
Yeah, and if you guys ever think about doing a stream, I do not suggest starting at midnight, because we started at midnight and went all the way to the next midnight, and it was rough. It was real rough.
Starting at 12 would be a bit rough. It definitely would be.
Yeah.
I had I mentioned it to you on the Twitter a couple of weeks back that I had a couple of mates and they tried to do the same sort of thing. They were like, let's do 24 hours, but I think they literally just thought, let's do it, and then the next week they did it, and I sat and I watched quite a bit of it. Like, I kept tuning into the Twitch channel to see where they were up to and see what they were getting up to, and my God, by hour 20, they just looked like they were dying.
Yeah, it's horrible. By hour 20, what was happening was we were really bad at it, because now we're doing an 11-hour stream. We're doing from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. so we can all like sleep. We're doing it in shifts. Everyone's going to have a 2 or 3 hour shift because our group's gotten so big, so we're going to cycle out everybody. But in that one, it was just 5 of us in a room, and around hour 20 was the same time we started hallucinating, and we played Turok, the newer one. It was for Xbox 360. It was kind of trying to remake Turok, and it wasn't very good.
No,
but it wasn't the most horrible game ever made. It was pretty bad, but we were just like, it's fucking 20 hours in. Like, let's just put Turok on. Who gives a shit? And we played it, and that was the moment we all cracked. It was some weird thing. We just started laughing at the dumbest things. I started making this dumb voice that was making everyone die. The stream went down for 10 minutes just because we were all sitting there laughing and not able to handle it anymore. But this year it's only 12 hours, so we're gonna do better. We're gonna have more condensed, awesome stuff, and we learned.
It does sound a little bit more doable. 12 hours. I mean, I've been kicking the idea around with Chris for a little while, and Chris is very much like, you know what? Let's try an hour. Let's just see.
Well, yeah, Kev. When you first started speaking about it, you wanted to do about bloody 72 hours or something.
Jesus,
you've got I know, right? He bloody goes. He fucking stays awake till like 3 a.m. and then takes me about these goddamn ideas. Let's do a fucking 3-week podcast about games non-stop. Jesus Christ. Anyway.
Well, we kind of just stole the format because it's inspired by something called Awesome Games Done Quick, if you've ever heard of that.
Yeah, I saw that on your email, Awesome Games Done Quick. What's that about? So it's the same sort of thing, but good games?
Yeah, well, okay, so I don't know how you guys play video games, but I'm ridiculously... I don't know how into the community you are if you know about speedrunning.
I've seen speedrunning. I've watched a few like Mario 64 speedrunning.
Those are awesome.
I used to be a huge fan of Mario 64 back in the day, so when I noticed they were doing speedruns... But my God, these people have got way too much time on their hands. Have you seen these, Chris? They're complete...
I don't know what that is, no.
They're basically...
I'm pretty old school with my games, you know. I don't like all online bullshit. I can't be doing with that.
Well, basically, there's people playing like Super Mario for the N64, and they're completing it in like, I don't know, 3 hours. Like, that's just ridiculous.
Also, you get a game and then you just go straight through it as quickly as you possibly can.
Yeah, but you've got to hit certain checkpoints as well, like certain amount, like it has to be a certain percentage and things like that.
I think I've seen a video of the original, proper Mario game from the NES, of that game completed in like 5 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, actually, being a more of a fan of old school gaming, actually those older school like NES, SNES generation games are the more popular speedrunning games because their controls are tighter. Yeah. A lot of it has to do with exploiting glitches to get to certain areas of the game, about all these doing these things. And because these games have been around for so long, everyone has exploited and ripped apart every single route and glitch and anything in that game. And when you watch a speedrunner, they're pretty much playing a completely different game. Like they're jumping backwards, but somehow the jump animation backwards is faster than forward. If you jump on this corner the right way, it'll fling you up to level 4 for no fucking reason.
So do you not fancy doing something like that on your stream, like doing speedruns? Well,
that was the issue, is that we're not good enough. That was the big issue, is that I love Awesome Games Done Quick so much. They do 2 a year. They play games for, I believe, 13, 14 hours a day for an entire week. And they raise millions of dollars, literally millions of dollars, for cancer research. And I know they do such a good cause, and I know it's awesome, but we are just not that good at video games. But we think we're funny. We think we may not be great, but we're entertaining. So that became the idea for Painful Games Done Slowly, where we're just, let's play these horrible games, or these games that are just very, very difficult, and just watch people almost break controllers.
I've almost done that a few times.
Well, that was one of the things that instantly drew me to it when you messaged me to ask me if we'd be interested in promoting it, because, as I say, I've subscribed to the Weekly Jump, and I love listening to the chat that you guys have. And I do find that fantastic. A 12-hour live stream, with your sort of banter, with that kind of community that you've got with the HD1Jump guys, I reckon that'd be interesting as hell, and I think you'll do well, to be honest.
The testing was about 6 or 7 months ago, kind of for How Do I Jump. We're trying to do more community events. We're trying to make it more... So we had How Do I Party about 6 months ago, where I literally invited everyone from the group. A lot of people are from out of state. A lot of people are from a few hours away or a different country. But everyone who was able to be around the area was invited. And we had about, I'd say, 20 people or so in our house. and the party lasted from like 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. and we were all having a great time. I had video games set up on every screen of my house. We were playing board games, we were playing tabletop games, we were playing card games, just drinking and having a good time. And that's when I realized, like, oh, everyone in this group is awesome. If I could get any of these people in front of a camera, it'll be great. And that's what made me really confident. I'm just like, if we do a stream with all of the people that we have in this group, it'll be fantastic.
See, Chris, we're hanging around with the wrong people.
I know.
We totally hang
I can't
around.
remember ever having a party and thinking everybody in here is awesome.
I can't remember the last time I thought 2 people at a party were awesome.
Pretty much just get out of my house.
A lovely host you are.
Where obviously you said that the last time you were in a basement doing this. Mm-hmm. Where are you doing it now? Because obviously you've got the facilities to live stream with this. So whereabouts are you doing this now? This time
we wanted to take it out of a basement and actually get a good venue. And we talked to a lot of different places. And after speaking with a few different venues, we decided that this place, Yestercade in Somerville, New Jersey, is the best place because the manager there, Gary. As soon as we pitched him the idea, he loved it. He was throwing ideas back at me. He really clicked into the whole concept of what we were doing so quickly. The actual area it's pretty much, it's called, you guys would also love it because it's called Yestercade. They literally have every single console there, from like the ColecoVision to like the Xbox One. Like everything is there. It's operated just like an arcade. You go up, you get an armband for like a few hours, you pay for a few hours, and you just go and you just play. You just play for a few hours, and it's awesome.
That does sound pretty cool.
We've got nothing like that over here in the UK.
Yestercade actually only opened up about a year or 2 ago. And actually, we were planning on doing this stream about 5 months ago, but they had a horrible storm and got some water damage on their ceiling, so they had to completely rebuild and wash out a bunch of stuff. But as soon as they were up and running, I got another email from them saying, hey, we're up and running, get PGDS over here. I'm like, fuck yes, we will.
That's what you want. That's what you want.
I'm sorry. If you're by Somerville, New Jersey, you can come down and play with us. We'll have some of the painful games set up that you could play yourself, or vote on the next game that we're going to be playing, or you can watch the live stream.
So on that, some of these games, like I said, I had a little look through this list, and I'm sitting there thinking some of these games are actually pretty cool. So Chris hasn't seen this list, so I'm going to pick out one off the top right now that I just think, my God, that wouldn't be painful. That's Shaq Fu.
Shaq Fu?
Now, I remember Shaq Fu back in the day, and I used to love
What in the hell is Shaq Fu?
Shaq Fu was like, it was Shaquille O'Neal, wasn't it? And it was
yes,
like
it was.
It was a bit of a fighter. It was when Shaquille O'Neal was like top of the pops sort of thing. Everybody was loving him, and sort of in the vein of the Wu-Tang Taste the Pain type of game. I saw this and I thought, I used to love playing that.
Well, that's kind of my defense with that is that, like I said, it's painfully bad and painfully difficult. It's more the painful of just like, it's like how we also have Michael Jackson Moonwalker, that there was a Michael Jackson game where it's just like you're watching the game. And the storyline of the game is Shaq gets, I think, possessed by the spirits of an old karate master and can fight. So it's just like, what the fuck is Shaq doing fighting each other? And I think if you play the game in a more modern sense, you'll realize that the controls were not that good.
Oh, no. They weren't at all. They weren't at all. As I was going through the list, I was like, Shaq Fu, come on.
It actually is so famously ridiculous that they're actually remaking Shaq Fu. Do you know that?
Oh, my God, no.
They did a Kickstarter, and Shaquille O'Neal is voicing Shaq.
Oh, we don't need that.
See, you're in pain.
Is that like
right?
a don't remake Jaws type thing, that it's so good that you don't touch it, or?
No, not quite.
Is it like a remaking Fantastic Four type thing where just don't?
Fantastic.
Nobody
Four.
wants to see that.
But you've also got Crazy Taxi.
We actually are going to be playing games differently. So Crazy Taxi, we thought of a lot of things that they do for Awesome Games Done Quick, where they do blind runs of games, where literally someone's blindfolded and they play through the entire game. Or they do things with 2 players, 1 controller. Someone has their left hand in the controller and another person has a right hand on their controller. And I think someone There's a speed run this year of someone playing Super Metroid like that, or 2 people playing Super Metroid like that, and 100%ing the game and like being really good at it.
You sold me on two guys, one controller.
Yeah, so that's kind of the aspect where we were trying to think of not only finding games that are difficult or games that are bad, but trying to play games in a different way. So we had an idea for Crazy Taxi that we wanted to do reverse taxi, where you have to hold the controller upside down as you play. Or we were going to do something called Backseat Driver, where one person's blindfolded and the other person tells them to turn left and right.
Oh my god!
I like that. I like that idea. Yeah.
That's crazy. That's mental. Crazy Taxi's hard enough, man.
Yeah. It's hard, but is it painful? Is kind of the slogan.
Yeah, a little bit.
I generally suck at driving in those types of games anyway, so being blindfolded might actually help me.
So what's this one? You've got 8-player Smash, all Pikachu, or one annoying character.
Yes. So what you're looking at right there is actually the tentative list. We're tweaking around. We're going to be finalizing it next week because it's in about 2 weeks on the 21st. So and we're going to be testing all the games and everything. But I love Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
I've been playing it. What I hate is the 8-player Smash thing now, because everyone knows, all the different people that I've played Smash with, everyone has a banned character. Everyone has a character that they tell their friends, you can't play as Pikachu, or no one's allowed to play as Pit. Everyone has a banned character. I find 8-player Smash to be the most annoying, hectic, not fun experience of my life. I just find it frustratingly horrible. In a lot of the groups that I've seen, Pikachu is usually the banned character because people just use Thunder all the time and it's really annoying. So we got chocolate and we got peanut butter and we made a Reese's peanut butter cup. Really, what happened?
So a little bit about this, the charity. What's the charity about?
This is from Child's Play Charity. Child's Play Charity is amazing to work with. They sponsored us the first time. They work, all the money is raised through children's hospitals. It actually was created by Penny Arcade, the Penny Arcade comic. They created Child's Play Charity. They do live streams or video game related charity things all the time. They're a great group. I encourage anyone, if you want to do something, email these people. They got back to me within 2 days. They're like, great, you just need this, this, and this. Good, you're on the calendar. They're so easy and great and fun and responsive to work with.
So those things really should be surprisingly easy. Or you would hope they are.
You would hope so, yeah.
And a little bit on, obviously, we've got you on. This is an audio sort of thing. You guys are doing this visually. Where can people go when you guys go live? Obviously, when it gets closer to the time, we'll pimp out as much as possible as well on the Facebook and the Twitter. And I think we'll probably be due another episode by then, so we'll pimp it then as well.
Thank you very much.
Well, of course. But where can people go to watch what you guys are doing?
All right. So on February 21st, Eastern Standard Time in America, it's going from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. You can either physically come to Yestercades in Somerville, New Jersey, and hang out with us then, or go to twitch.tv/painfulgamesdoneslowly and do that, or just go right to our website, HD1Jump.com, HD1Jump.com. There's a Painful Games Done Slowly button right there. We'll be streaming the live stream all through that. We'll be tweeting it out. Follow How Do I Jump. Go to the site, Twitch Painful Games Done Slowly. Tweet out. We're tweeting it out, PGDS 2016, to try to get that. If you see a Twitter about that, click on that and you'll get all the information. We're making it real easy to find.
We might not be able to do hashtags though, because Chris doesn't buy into them.
What?
You can do hashtags all you want, Kev. I'm having nothing to do with
it. He's very much against the Twitter and the hashtags.
You know what, Chris? I was all happy about us because you're a Marvel buddy. I heard you like Spider-Man a lot, and now you're just like, I hate people at parties. I hate the social thing.
No, he only does that for the podcast. Generally an alright guy, ain't you?
Oh no, I'm a complete bastard. How would somebody go and donate towards the charity?
Yes. Aye.
Okay, well, we're going to have. Thank you very much, Chris. There's going to be a widget in the Twitch stream that you can just click through there, and also on our website for Painful Games Done Slowly, so you can easily click on it. Also, if you're there in person, we will be accepting cash donations if you come in person. Actually, we're going to allow each hour. We're going to have the 2 games for the next hour. and people with 2 jars next to them, and people couldn't put in money to vote for what game we'll play for the next hour.
Sorry, is that going to be the format? You're going to do a game an hour?
Yes, that's what we're looking at right now. Cool. We're looking at a game every hour. For the older games, like SNES or something like that, because those might just be painful. We're still trying to make it entertaining.
Yeah.
So we might do like a bundle of those an hour and like go through them every 20 minutes or something like that.
That was kind of my thing, because I get a feeling that if you're doing a 12-hour live stream and you get to like hour 10 and you put Crazy Taxi in, you're only doing 5 minutes of that.
Luckily, we're going to have fresh blood coming in all through the stream. I'm telling people to come in at like 3 or 4 o'clock so they're fully rested and ready to get frustrated.
So I'm guessing by that it's the full HD How Do I Jump kind of crew.
Yeah, we got tons of How Do I Jump crew members coming in. If you've listened to the weekly jump like you have, you know we have a rotating cast, a very large rotating cast all the time. We're emailing a few YouTubers and Let's Players to see if anyone around the area can come in. So if any local YouTubers or Let's Players in the New Jersey kind of East Coast area want to help us out, send us an email, hd1jump@gmail.com. And we'll try to get you in, and we'll try to promote this more.
So, Chris, do you have any game suggestions you want to throw at him?
Any game suggestions?
Yeah.
Hook for the NES.
Hook? What's Hook?
Hook. The game of the movie.
Oh, for the Robin Williams movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, classic game.
Oh my god, what was it for?
It was for the NES. It's proper old school.
Oh my god, I'm seeing it right now. Did you play this game?
Awesome. You can fly in it briefly and everything.
Briefly, meaning you can jump off the ground and flap your arms for a second.
No, there was sort of different parts of the. It was a platform game, and there were different parts of the map that you could jump on, and it was like sort of Tinkerbell like thing, or pixie dust, and you could fly over rather than jumping. But then there were also like cutaway levels where you were flying and you had to fly pretty much like Superman. What was it? Superman 64 or something? Where you had to fly through hoops, but Hook did it first and better because it was Peter Pan.
Well, I mean, my only counter to that is you may have enjoyed the game. I want the game that haunts you at night. The game from your childhood that even mentioning the name gets you frustrated. I want that game.
Oh, shit.
I want the game you never beat as a kid, but you tried so damn hard.
That was like every game I played as a kid, because I had pretty bad ADHD, so I never got 10 minutes past the game.
I guess the game you couldn't beat as a kid, not just like went off it for some reason.
Castle of Illusion, Mickey Mouse's Castle of Illusion. That game used to absolutely boil me.
Really?
It used to cripple me for days.
See, that's the game I want. That's what I want.
Yeah.
Here's one for you that was glitchy as hell, and I never got through it because of that reason. Is the Phantom Menace on the PS1?
Oh, I remember that game. That was good. We're actually going to play Super Star Wars.
Yeah, I saw that
Star
one.
Wars?
I saw that one on your list.
If you see, it was for the SNES. It was Super Star Wars, and I don't know how they expected people to beat this game. There are just things coming at you all over the place. It's ridiculous. It is. Look up videos for Super Star Wars, or just wait till the stream, and you can just see like, what are all these? Like the entire world is trying to kill Luke Skywalker. It's ridiculous,
as it should be. So
yeah.
So yeah, that's Peter from How Do I Jump from the Weekly Jump podcast. I would absolutely. I'm going to be tuning in. I might not donate because I'm a bit stingy. I'm a bit tight.
For the kids, for the kids, Kevin. For
the kids. Aye, okay. So I might throw some shekels in the barrel. Everybody, get onto this. It's at twitch.tv/painful games, done slowly. Get yourself on the Twitter. Hashtag it all day long. I know Chris won't. Subscribe to the Weekly Jump podcast. It's fantastic. You've got a couple of other little podcasts as well, haven't you? Well, not little, sorry. That sounded really patronising.
Nice little
big-headed bastard kid.
Your cute little shows.
I meant companion shows is what I meant.
I gotcha. Yes, we do a few.
I would listen to all of them because I think that the crack that you guys have is absolutely brilliant, and games are not necessarily something that I always want to listen about. Like I prefer to play them, But listening to you guys, and the way that... Chris, you would actually love it because the rants that some of these guys have is just unbelievable.
I like a rant, as you know.
Oh, you love a rant. But these guys kind of, they put you to shame, buddy.
Wow. It's a podcast about video games, but we get off subject sometimes.
It's a very passionate podcast, I would say, about passionate gamers, passionate about their games. That's how I would word it.
Yeah,
very quite carefully.
But yeah, we do more. You're talking about the Weekly Jump podcast that comes out every Wednesday, where we talk about the gaming news of that week and really whatever else we're all ranting about that time. Friday, I do indie interviews where I talk to a different independent game developer for about an hour and shoot the shit with them, learn about their life and their career. We do something similar. Actually, you guys would also really enjoy. We do this thing called the Geek Chorus. That's coming in. It's a more occasional show, but it's a very specific show where we all talk about a specific thing. We rip apart. It's a spoiler cast, and we talk about very specific. Like we did one on it's because I'm ramping up to the ones that we're going to do right now, so I don't want to ruin those.
I listened to your Jessica Jones one. A couple of days ago, although I'm still not sold on Jessica Jones.
Oh, really? No, you just don't like just Marvel? Just
he's what you call an awkward bastard. Where if everybody else loves the show, then he will say, it was overrated. Or, I don't like the show.
No,
it wasn't for me.
No, I do it for the giggles. Yes. I do it for the giggles on the show. I just like to poke the bear and just say that Marvel's crap and see where you go with it.
Well, we do have a few DC specific ones for you. One of our most popular ones is our Batman vs. the Joker. We go through the entire history of Batman and the Joker. We have Justice League Mortal, which is the undone. It's the undone Justice League movie. It's the Justice League movie they were going to make and never did. And we had the script. We go through the entire script, and actually one of our friends kind of gets choked up at the end because the ending of this script is really good and it was great. And then we have random ones like Animorphs. We wanted to talk about Animorphs, so we have an Animorphs episode.
Who wouldn't? So yeah, mate, Peter, thank you very much for coming on and telling us about this. Thank you for letting us be involved and promoting it and trying to get the word out for you. It's been absolutely brilliant, and I was really quite shocked when I first got your message. I was kind of like, us? You know, like, because we're still kind of starting out and all that, but I got your message and I was kind of like, us and that, and it was really nice, and straight away it's something that I can totally jump on, and I'm happy to have you on to talk about it.
Thank you. I'm happy that you guys wanted me to be on. You guys are awesome. This was tons of fun to talk to you guys.
When we get time, we'll squeeze something else in sometime. What do you think, Chris?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Definitely, yeah.
Yes.
Something involving Marvel, eh?
Yeah, I'll do. I'll talk about. Hey, I'll be the middleman between you guys. I can talk Marvel or DC. However, I have read every single Spider-Man comic, so I might be biased.
Wow, shit!
Every single.
Me and Imran brought me on for a Spider-Man cast, and you could just listen to me and Imran talk about Spider-Man for 2.5 hours.
That's how I.
Was that the episode where he spoke about the best Spider-Man stories?
Yeah, well, all the Spider-Man television shows we went through the cartoon.
Oh
shows.
yeah, that was good. That was really good.
That was yeah. Me and Imran went through all that.
Because I actually before you came on, Chris, I mentioned to Peter that we were basically their doppelcasters, as they call it.
Yeah.
And he wasn't even aware who we were.
Oh, wow! I knew you were the doppelgangers. I didn't know. I haven't had the pleasure yet, but now I'm very pleased.
No, that's pretty cool the way that's worked out. We are so stoked to have you on, and like I say, as it gets closer, we'll probably have another episode before you guys do the stream, and we'll pimp it to hell on that one as well. So glad to have you on, and I'm so glad you reached out to us.
Thank you very much for responding and being a part of this as well.
It's cool. Anything else you want to say, Chris?
No, man, that's good. All good.
All good. You're gonna go out for a pint now.
Go out for a pint now.
Crisis for the geek kind. Top geek officials admit they underestimated the hipsters' defense capability. Join the geek revolution and save the galaxy. Geeks from all over the globe are joining up to fight for the future. They're doing their part. Are you? Want to know more? Join We Be Geeks and the Geek Revolution and save the world. Service guarantees citizenship. Listen to Weeby Geeks podcast on iTunes and Stitcher or online at WeebyGeeks.net. Weeby Geeks, your voice for the geek revolution. Want to know more?
I love that promo.
Does anybody just want to fuck off and watch Starship Troopers right now?
Yes.
You seen Starship Troopers? Fucking awesome, isn't it?
Yes, absolute classic.
Fucking, what's his name? Neil Patrick Harris. He's great in that, isn't he?
Shit, he's a... Wow, don't like it anymore.
Caspar Van Dien when he was, like, popular for all of 2 minutes.
I think I've only seen him in that and bloody Sleepy Hollow.
Is he not in one of your, like, Sharknado movies? No, surely that's not above him.
Not yet.
This is going to be the top 3 worst movies made from video games, because you were getting quite tongue-tied with this earlier.
That was off the air and I got it right when we went on there, so
that's the premise of the section, because obviously we're having a little bit of a gaming thing. However, we're still a movie podcast, so we like to try and mix and match, but we have kind of tangented quite a bit tonight, which is awesome, because we love to tangent.
Oh, yeah.
And you can hear us on the Tangent Bound Network, like totally pimping everything
like
tonight. So basically, movies that are based on video games tend to suck ass, because 9 times out of 10, as we said earlier, Yuri Ball gets his grubby little hands on them, and he's just a maniac, and he can't do anything good. Does he not cast Jason Statham in almost everything?
Oh, God.
Was it The Name of the King and stuff like that? Dungeon Siege and all that wank. We're going to give you our view on the worst video game movies ever made, and who wants to go first?
On you go then, Haze.
Right. Yes, so as I was kind of alluding to when we were having a chat earlier, I found this quite difficult because being such an avid gamer, I tend to be more worried about about movies that are based on games and how much they're going to annoy me. So
do you hear that they're coming and you're like, what? No, I don't want to play that.
I really do. I mean, at the minute they're talking, they're talking quite a lot about Uncharted getting turned into a movie, and it's like Uncharted was pretty much based on Indiana Jones. Why the fuck would you want to do it the other way around? But anyways,
because Nathan Fillion would be an amazing Nathan Drake.
He would, and I'm sure But the beauty of the big problem is the beauty of games is the interactivity. You crafting the story along with and kind of playing your role, and you take that away, it's no longer a game, and you have to have something that kind of, I don't know. Maybe we'll talk about. I mean, I did want to actually mention one particular film that is probably my favorite film based on games. But anyways, going back to this, so it's a very short. It's a very short list. Well, it's only 3 because that's what you asked for.
What we do is we'll do like a round table.
Yeah.
You do one, then Chris will do one, then I'll do one, and then we'll go around again. Aye.
Yeah.
We can say what ones we thought were decent afterwards. No worries.
I'm quite interested in hearing what your movie is that's based on games and gaming and stuff.
Yeah, can do. I mean, really, it's just a recommendation because technically it's not a movie that's it's technically not a movie of a game, but the film's called King of Kong: A Fistful of Quarters. And it kind of follows a couple of guys chasing the high score in Donkey Kong. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. It gets the kind of the vibe behind score attack gaming perfectly. You've got a villain, you've got you've got kind of the guy that you're rooting for. You've got the brilliant footage inside arcades and stuff. So in terms of a game, a movie that is its subject matter is video games, it's never been better than that for me. It's fantastic. I can watch it again and again. It's brilliant. Thoroughly recommended.
I honestly thought he was going to say Pixels.
Oh dear,
I really did.
Yeah,
for a minute there, I thought
I've never seen that. I've got no intention to, but I did watch Cinema Sins.
Oh yeah,
Doing Everything Wrong With, and I also listened to We Hate Movies speaking about it.
Yep.
And after actually seeing scenes from the movie in Cinema Sins, fuck that shit. Fuck that shit. All over the place.
You know, Brigger's not going to be happy with that.
Well, I know Brigger, but you've already pissed me off today. So
because his badge, his little badge, is coming through the post for the #1 fan club.
Kevin James for president. So yeah, aye.
Right.
So what's your first shittest gaming movie ever then?
So are we gonna do this kind of descending? So we'll start with 3, then go down to 2, and the worst sort of thing. All right, okay. Right. Well, number 3, I'm gonna have. See, I've got my 3, but it's difficult to guess. Yeah. All right. Okay. I'm just gonna throw it out there. Super Mario Brothers. Yeah. I'm going to put that down as number 3. Like I say, this probably wouldn't be in my worst list if I'd seen more films that were based on games.
Yeah.
But it is because it's a very short list of, it's a very short list. So, yeah, I mean, Goombas, basically being giant, sort of weird lurch-like men. I mean, what was all that about? The actors that just they didn't capture Mario and Luigi at all. I mean, why they thought it would be a good idea to make a game based on this is completely beyond me. But sorry, a movie based on that is totally beyond me. But they did, and it was wank. So there we go. But it was kind of fun in a way as well, with all the little stupid sound effects. Long time since I've seen it. Don't intend on watching it again. So yeah,
we're big fans of another podcast called We Hate Movies.
Yeah,
where they basically take movies that are considered to be quite bad and they go through it and they sort of tear it apart.
Tear it to shreds, yeah.
And they are. If you ever get a chance to sit and listen to a really good podcast, We Hate Movies, 100%. Totally recommend them. They did the Mario Brothers. There's like a whole other story going on in that movie that they nail, and I never ever about the hitmen and the mafia and stuff going on, and the independent contractors and the construction and everything. And it's so fucking. I was sat there listening to them going, I didn't pick up on any of that, but that's what they do. That's what they're there for. That is a fantastic podcast. You should listen to them.
I'm gonna note that down.
Yeah, they are really good.
That sounds good. That sounds good.
If you go into it on iTunes or if you're on Android, they're on third-party apps too, but there's a whole back catalogue of shit movies that they talk about, and Son of the Mask is a good one.
Son of the Mask is good. Devil's Advocate was awesome. Hog Beast! Because they're all kind of comedians and stuff as well, and they're all really good at impressions, although they're terrible at Vin Diesel impression because they don't have 8 ball bags.
That's right.
They keep on saying we don't have 8 testicles, so we can't do it. But
they can't get the voice low enough.
They do Keanu Reeves in the Devil's Advocate episode, and they just sit there going, "God damn, Hog Beast!" It's fucking brilliant, man. I give them a listen.
Yeah.
So yours. But
so
no. Super Mario Brothers, you're putting that in there.
Yeah, I've got umbrage for that. It's a classic.
It is a classic.
It's a load of old nonsense, but it's a classic.
You're right, though. They didn't capture anything to do with the game.
You don't think maybe Bob Hoskins kind of captured Mario?
No, because
he did.
Mario is he's a plumber from Queens. Bob Hoskins is like a little fucking
plumber from Queens?
Cockney gangster.
He was doing a New York accent.
That was not a New York accent. That was like that was a new Cockney accent.
It was good. It's a good movie.
I do wish they would remake that, if I'm honest. I would love to see a Mario Brothers now. So yours.
Anyway, so my first one, Prince of Persia.
I thought Prince of Persia was alright.
No, you're wrong.
Jake Gyllenhaal's awesome.
No.
I'll be fair. I watched about 20 minutes of it.
It's awful.
I got to the bit where when he first uses the dagger and goes back in time. So fuck that shit.
It's fucking awful. It's just your generic, bland fantasy. Fucking. I like Lord of the Rings and all that kind of shite.
You sure?
Yeah. But yeah, it's just your generic, fucking bland, pishy, bloody. Basically, now to be brutal, your basic Ben Kingsley movie, where he's in there just being
Ben Kingsley,
the same fucking character he's playing all the time.
Trevor Slattery.
Yeah.
That's damning.
Yeah.
Absolutely damning.
He does always play Trevor Slattery now.
I think the only time I've ever enjoyed watching Ben Kingsley really is in The Sopranos, funnily enough.
Yeah.
Where
he was basically doing like an extras on himself.
No, he was good in what was the wrong with Ray Winston? When Ray Winston was sort of like trying to be a retired gangster and he was trying to get out the life, and Ben Kingsley's like, "You're coming back," and he's like, "I'm not coming back." He's like, "You're coming back." He's like, "I'm not coming back." He's like, "You're fucking coming back." Sexy Beast. It was before he fell off and made Iron Man 3 though. So my first one, it wasn't really a hard decision. My first one, I could cut it some slack because I loved the actor in it, but I could really be brutal and put it number 1 because it was fucking horrendous. Yeah, I'm going to put it number 3. Hitman, the original Hitman movie with Timothy Olyphantastic. You know I love Timothy Olyphant, but I quite liked the Hitman games. I thought they were okay. I'm not much for stealth games, but Hitman was alright in a way because you could be stealth or you could just fucking run in all guns blazing. Granted, if you run in all guns blazing, you're pretty much going to die every time, but that movie had nothing to do with anything. They even cheated because the TV show, was it Dark Angel with was it Joss Whedon show? No, Joss Whedon on Alias.
That rings a bell.
Dark Angel was kind of like, remember Alias with Jennifer Garner? Dark Angel was kind of.
Is that where she played Jessica Jones?
Aye, basically,
Yeah.
aye. Well, Dark Angel was a bit like Alias, but in Alias, they cut scenes from that TV show into Hitman, like the original Hitman, to explain where he came from. Bullshit, man. The film was fucking horrendous. I haven't seen the new one, and I don't want to.
Isn't it the guy from Homeland that's in the new one?
Aye.
Yeah.
He looks like he could be alright, but I also thought Timothy Olyphant would be amazing.
Say that again?
Timothy Olyphant.
I've never seen it.
Yeah.
And that's actually what I found earlier on, is that I've hardly seen any of these movies. That's probably a good thing.
That's a shame, because when I looked at probably the same list that you did, and I'd seen most of them. I'm like, what have I been doing with my life? Yeah. So you're number 2, Chris.
I don't even know if it technically qualifies, right? but it did annoy me, which is the reason why I put it in, and it's Wreck-It Ralph, which now before. Hear me out. My issue with this movie, right, is the first sort of 20 minutes of it I absolutely loved.
Yeah.
It was brilliant. They did everything right. Introducing you to all the kind of classic characters and stuff. It was great. I was like, finally, this is what I've been waiting for. Something that captures the essence of video games, everything about it. That the joy that it brings. The games bring. But and then they just spunked it down the trough. For the rest of the film, pretty much, and it turned into a generic bullshit love story. And yes, I'm probably expecting too much from a film that was clearly aimed at a younger audience, but. I mean, the problem for me was that a lot of the stuff in it was kind of aimed directly at elder gamers, which is definitely a category that I'm starting to fall into if I'm not already in there. Let's face it. Yeah, so to be fair, I will watch it again, and I will cut it a lot of slack because the first 20 minutes is just so good. But the disappointment, the back end, the kind of the latter half of the film really is why it's in here. So again, don't know if it qualifies, but
I would say that qualifies.
I'll let you have it, and I will completely agree with you. I would probably say the first 40 minutes of that movie I loved.
When it kind of went down for me was when I want to say Sarah Silverman.
Yeah.
When she came into it and was
you
all
mean
like
the whole thing about the movie.
High pitched and screechy, and
that's just Sarah Silverman.
That fucking voice. That's when it went.
Do you know what? I think that plays a big role as well. Yeah.
I love Sarah Silverman.
Well, no.
Do you ever see a movie called The Way of the Gun?
No.
With Ryan Philippe and Benicio del Toro. And I know you like del Toro, so you cut this film some slack. Sarah Silverman's in like the first 2 minutes of that movie. Every second word that she says is fuck, and I'll give her all the time in the world. All the time in the world for that one scene.
So if you get a movie with Helen Mirren doing that.
Aye. I do agree with Wreck-It Ralph. It does die on its arse a good halfway through. It does, which is a shame because, like you say, it hits every single note before that.
Yeah, I was like a child in a sweet shop. When the first, like you say, the first 20 minutes, half an hour or so of that film was going on. I was just sitting on my seat thinking, "This is just."
When they had the group with Bowser and all that.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
Man.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, and I was sitting there, with my stupid old adult hat on, thinking, "How the hell did they pull the licensing for this together? This is." Do you know what I mean? This is seriously impressive, but because you've got there's so many different publishers who own the intellectual property of these characters. I mean, what a boring bastard to sit there and think that one. But still, and then for it just to, it's almost like they showed you this, and then it's like, yeah, all right, so there's your bit. Here's the crap for the kids, for the remainder of the film, and they dropped the ball, and it annoyed me.
I do still watch that film. I watch it every now and then with the kids because they love it. But yeah, I'm on the same page. It does die on its arse a good halfway through. So you're number 2.
Yeah, my number 2 is Tomb Raider: The Cradle of Life.
Really?
Yeah.
Let's stick a Tomb Raider in there.
The second one I enjoyed the first one. I like the first one. The second one
is pretty poor,
fucking awful.
The thing about the second one is that it has a bit of Ocean's 12 syndrome. It's just a series of scenes in different countries, and it's just her going to these different... You don't even see her going to these places. She's just in these different places, doing different things, and there's no real linear anything to it.
Well, the story in the first one was all right. It was kind of like a Tomb Raider game. She has to discover a secret about her dad, and about the Illuminati.
John Voight was her dad, eh?
Exactly.
Her real dad?
Exactly.
Wow.
I know. And there was an actual story in the first one, and the effects were okay. She was a convincing and fit Lara, but the second one was terrible.
Do you think if they made another one, she could pull it off?
No.
Nah, she couldn't now, could she?
No.
My number 2, we spoke about it earlier. I went straight down the line on this one, and I went for Max Payne. I loved the Max Payne game. I thought it was awesome. When you're having the nightmares and you're in the dark and you've got the white lines and you can hear the baby crying.
Oh, that is just such... It's a genius level in the game. That
eerie as, and that was the first game. Probably did Max Payne come before Enter the Matrix? I don't think it did it? Might have done. When you took the painkillers, and it was the first kind of game I ever played where you had bullet time sort of thing. It wasn't.
Yes.
It wasn't bullet time.
Yeah, that was the big selling point at the time. Was bullet time on the original game. Yeah,
and it was brilliant. The game was pretty fucking visionary. It was dark. It was very dark. Yeah. And then they decided to put Marky Mark in it, get Mila Kunis in it because she's fit. It's a fucking terrible movie. It's terrible. The dialogue is, don't get me wrong, the dialogue in the actual game isn't great. It is quite generic. It's quite basic. It's quite shit. But in the movie, oh my Christ. Plus you've got Marky Mark with that accent of his. Oh, nah. So yeah, that went to number 2 for me. It was crap.
Yeah, I've not actually seen it, but again, for the reasons that I kind of explained earlier, I know that if I saw it, I would just sit and be annoyed for 2 hours. You
would. They tried. I don't know what they were trying to pull off. It really is an annoying movie. Because they're trying to take the best parts of the game and make something out of it for a movie base. And it just doesn't work. They just fuck everything up.
Fundamentally, the differences between the two mediums is such a big reason why it 9 times out of 10 will not work.
Plus, to be fair, most games we play now, they are movies.
Well, look at Witcher. I mean, have you played Witcher 3?
I'm not playing Witcher.
All right. Don't look at Witcher then.
I'm not gonna.
Don't look at Witcher then. Fucking hell. So what's your number 1, Haze?
I've not played The Witcher, by the way, but I really want to. It does look brilliant.
It is good. Don't listen.
All right. So my number 1, it's kind of number 1 for a reason, because although I think it's quite a poor movie, it still deserves recognition, and the movie is Street Fighter.
I was actually going to put that. Yeah, I was actually going to put that on my list
with Van Damme.
Yeah, it's
awesome.
But it was not.
The thing is, right? It's so shit that it does kind of become good.
Of course it does.
You've got. I mean, Christ, you've got Kylie Minogue's Cammy
in hot pants,
and that's Jean-Claude Van Damme. I mean, in what world did they sit and think? Right, Guile. He's an American hero. He's in the army. He's all the right. Who's the perfect? So very, very, very American actor who we can get play Guile. I know. Let's go for Jean-Claude Van Damme. I mean, what?
To be honest,
it's really high.
To be honest, at that time as well, he was flying high off Universal Soldier. That would have been around that time. Dolph Lundgren would have been a fucking great Guile. Van Damme's a strange choice, I have to admit.
Yeah, and I mean, I like a bit of Van Damme. I mean, Bloodsport's one of my favourite films of all time. But quite why he was a good choice for Street Fighter is totally beyond me. It's almost like they were sort of buying into the comedy value. But I mean, one of the things about that film that I obviously you kind of see with some slight sadness is seeing Raul Julia, and it's he's actually really good as Bison. But I believe that was his last movie.
For years, I thought that was Tim Curry. I didn't know the difference between Tim Curry and Raul Julia. I thought they were the same person.
But it's so like I say, I can actually watch that film and get enjoyment out of it. It's not for the reasons at all that they intended. I find it amusing when I'm not supposed to find it amusing. And do you know what I mean? It's that sort of film. It's so bad that it's good. So that's why it's number 1.
That's the case with a lot of Van Damme movies.
Oh, Van Damme, you've got to have a certain amount of...
Time Cop, for example.
Time Cop's awesome.
That is funny as fucking places where it's not supposed to be.
Films like I mentioned Bloodsport and this Kickboxer as well. I mean, the dialogue in those films and the acting is pretty shocking.
What's the one where he plays his own twin? Double
Impact.
Yes.
Fuck.
Double Impact.
That's awesome.
What a movie. Did you ever see
man.
Did you ever see the one he did with Tim Rodman? Dennis Rodman. Double Team.
Maybe. Rings a bell, yeah.
Mickey Rourke was in it. It was like Mickey Rourke's first
I've
comeback.
definitely seen that.
Yeah,
I
rings
can't-
a bell, like.
Fucking awesome movie, man.
Yeah, it's just like it's just like it's just bubblegum, isn't it? Watching watching a Van Damme film.
It is.
You know what you're gonna get, and as long as you're prepared for that, you'll have a good time.
I liked in Double Team. There's a scene where they're all getting ready to go in and take down Mickey Rourke, and there's this bird at the end of the table. It's like muckle, like proper muscles on it, proper looks like a Russian in that. And Van Damme, she picks up this muckle gun, and Van Damme's like, "Do you know how to shoot that thing?" You know, with his American accent and stuff. She goes, "With this, I could shoot the dick of a hummingbird." Such a great line in a movie, like, I could shoot the dick of a hummingbird.
What the hell accent was that?
I think I've just lost our Russian audience.
Wow.
The dick. I like it.
All two of them. Your number one?
So, yeah, my number one is Resident Evil Retribution.
Really?
Yeah.
The Resi movies are alright.
No, they are okay. I've actually quite enjoyed them up until that last one.
Which one was that? The last one?
The last one.
It was crap.
Afterlife was the one before that, and I was enjoying them up till then. It had Michael Scofield in it.
Well, you got to love a movie with Michael Scofield.
And you know what? It was okay for a Resident Evil movie. It was okay. I know they've got a massive cult following, which is why they continue to be made. They're making another final movie next year, apparently.
Is it not called The Final Chapter?
It's the final chapter.
To be fair, at this point, the movies are probably better than the games.
Yeah.
I've not played a Resident Evil game in a long time.
I think
Probably the way forward, to be fair.
Yeah.
Definitely. They're not good at all anymore.
Aren't they bringing out like an HD version of Resident Evil 2 or something like that?
That is true. To be fair, Resident Evil 2 is it's one of my favourites of the Resident Evil series. It actually probably is my favourite when I think back. One was, I'm a big scaredy cat when it comes to playing horror games. I have real trouble playing on my own. But Resident Evil 2, I completed that one night with a pal of mine who held my hand throughout it and made sure I was okay. And so I would actually be interested in Resident Evil 2 as a remake.
I was exactly the same with Silent Hill, the first Silent Hill.
I cannot play them games.
Exactly.
Can't play them.
As soon as you hear the siren, I just turn the TV off and go upstairs.
Yeah.
I'm like, nah, I'm done. I am fucking out. However,
I was actually, I was like that with Alien Isolation. Have you played that?
I reckon that's...
That is tense as fuck. It's to do with the score and the lighting in it, and all that kind of thing. But the first time that you go into a room, and it's like a cutscene, but the alien's there, and so she hides it's Ellen Ripley's daughter. She hides behind like a desk or something for the alien to go away, and then the tense music thingies, and then like one of the gas canisters explodes or something like that, so it's like foggy as fucking everything. And oh my god, it was tense as fuck. And the dog bloody moved, he fucking rolled over while I was playing this scene. I was holding my controller tight as fuck, and the dog kind of went... And I went, Jesus fucking Christ, Dexter!
No, with Alien, I'm a huge Alien fan, but I'd heard things like that, Chris, about Alien Isolation, and I know that I couldn't play it on my own, so I just haven't even bothered.
It is good, and it is good, but then they kind of lose their way a little bit in the middle. I've not completed it yet because I started playing WWE, but they kind of lose it in the middle a little bit because they bring androids and stuff into it, and the androids are chasing you rather than the alien. But apparently, it gets good towards the end. Yeah. So I am going to complete it.
It's a curious thing with horror, really, because I really enjoy a good horror film. I can sit and watch a horror film and not and not be frightened for my life. But for some reason playing a game that's very scary. I find it difficult.
It's the whole thing that you are the character, like especially with a horror game, because you tend to find like. They don't really make that third-person mode in a horror game. It's always first-person, and it's always shit your pants fucking scary.
Yeah.
Like, I fucking hate horror games. Back when I had the old Wii, and I soft-modded the old Wii, there was like those Japanese sort of horror games, like sort of the Grudge type of thing.
Oh, dear.
Oh, my fucking God.
No.
I couldn't play them. I could not play them. And then when I had the PS4, you got that Outlast. Oh, my Christ. No, thank you.
Well, there's a game on PS4. It was supposed to become a new Silent Hill game, but it got cancelled. It's this whole big thing with Hideo Kojima leaving Konami, but it was called PT. I can't play it. I just can't. But basically, you're just kind of walking through a room, and like progressively worse things happen to the point where it just like erodes your mental well-being for like 20 minutes, half an hour, to the point where you either turn your PlayStation off or you've already slit your wrists by that point.
Is that the one with Norman Reedus?
Yes, it is. Yes, it's yeah. But it like I say, unfortunately, it got cancelled because of the fallout with Hideo Kojima. Because
there's loads of people that if you have that on your hard drive on your PS4, you can sell your PS4 on eBay for like fucking $1,000.
Aye.
Although I can't play it, I've never deleted it, so I do actually have it on my PS4. So if I'm ever skint, I know what I'll do to make some money.
Did you ever play There was a game on the PS1. You might still be on your N64, Kev. I want to say Dino Crisis.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
where you go to an island and like they've been experimenting bringing dinosaurs back to life and stuff. Just like a movie. Huh.
I was playing Turok on the N64 at that point.
I don't know what that is. But there's a scene in that. It's you're like investigating. It's like a team has been on the island of scientists and shit. And something's gone wrong, so you're a team of SAS type fellas going to find out what's going wrong. And there's a scene where you're in a bust up old sort of building. You go into a guy's office, and then it's an immediate cut scene where a fucking big bastard T-Rex like slams itself through the wall and tries to eat you. And the first time I played that, I was like, "Fuck me!" So Resident Evil. The other movies in this series weren't too bad. That one was utter dog shit.
Yeah,
so what's your number one?
My number one is a movie. It's actually quite a new movie. It came out a couple of years ago. Aaron Paul was riding high off Breaking Bad.
Oh, yeah.
Need for Speed. What the actual fuck? That wasn't even a movie.
I've not seen it. I've heard it's crap.
There's no storyline. Dialogue is shit. It's just Aaron Paul and Dominic Cooper trying to outdo each other, trying to be cooler than the other guy, and they're both coming off as complete tards. Driving stupid cars at stupid speeds. I'm a huge fan of Fast and Furious. I make no bones of it. I love the franchise. Need for Speed was just a shitty knockoff of that franchise and a shitty knockoff movie of a game.
Okay.
Well, I haven't seen it, but the reason why I haven't seen it are exactly the things that you've said, because I'm a massive Breaking Bad fan. I don't need to see Aaron Paul doing something like that.
Oh, trust me, you don't. Oh, man, he kind of just turns up. Me and Lindsay watched it, because, you watch a film with your bird every now and then. So me and Lindsay's like sitting watching this. And even Lindsay, 3/4 of the way through, bless her, was like, so what is this about? and I'm like,
cars and shit?
And it wasn't Lindsay being like, when we watched Inception, 5 minutes into the movie, she says, so what is this about? It was
That's
like...
okay, she's not going to listen to this anyway.
It's like, what the fuck was Need for Speed? It was shit. It was terrible. And it wasn't even like the Need for Speed Most Wanted games when you had the police chasing them. It was just two pretentious jumped up pricks jumping in cars, racing each other. And like you say, Aaron Paul is better than that.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge Breaking Bad fan, as you know, but I know that he is a good actor and he's better than that.
You don't think with that role he needs to just sort of take a break for a couple of years and then come back?
He's very typecast for a while.
Yeah. Like say John Hamm, for example. That's going to take him a while to get past Don Draper.
Is it though?
He's just going to be cast as Don Draper characters, which is all right.
Did you ever watch...
Love Mad Men, by the way.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch Bridesmaids? You didn't, did you?
No, I didn't watch that fucking shit.
No, seriously, right? The movie itself is crap, and the women in it are fucking retarded. John Hamm is in it, and he plays like a womanizing, funny dickhead, sort of like Don Draper, but he's a lot funnier, and it's a lot more of a comedic role. I don't think John Hamm will have a problem getting out of that light. Plus, he was amazing in The Town, unbelievable in The Town.
Was he in that?
He's the copper chasing him down.
I'd forgotten that.
Him and the guy out of Bosch. John Hamm is the copper trying to take down.
Oh well, I'll take it back.
He's the guy that's like, this not fucking around crew is really getting old. So I think John Hamm.
But do you know what I mean? That it's such a famous role that, and he's played it for almost 10 years or whatever.
Yeah.
It was like when James Gandolfini started doing all the artsy fartsy roles. I'm sorry, but you're never getting away from Tony Soprano.
Yeah, you just want him to play Tony Soprano.
He was always going to be Tony Soprano. Yeah. I know what you're saying. But Need for Speed, and there was rumours for a while that there was going to be a sequel, and I just hope they knock that in the head, because Dominic Cooper's better than that, and Aaron Paul's definitely better than that. So that's my number one.
There you go. So, Haze, have you got any gaming movies that you think are good?
Yeah, obviously I mentioned King Kong.
Yeah.
Difficult to really think of many others, to be honest. There's a really good one which is going to be quite boring for people if you're looking for kind of action or if you're not interested in the kind of history of games. But there's a brilliant kind of documentary film called Bedrooms to Billions, which fantastic. It kind of takes kind of talking head interviews of classic game developers such as Jeff Minter, who I'm a big fan of. He made games such as Tempest, back on the Atari. Different people from the classic arcade era, kind of coming up through the different generations. It's really good, but it's one of those films it's much more of a documentary, more kind of informative about stuff. Yeah, that's something, if you're into games, you've been into games for a long time, you're interested in the people who make them from back in the day, then Bedrooms to Billions, seek that out. Can't think of too many of us, to be totally honest with you. Yeah, I would recommend that.
That's fair enough. I'd say documentary-wise, I would recommend the E.T. documentary.
That was good.
That was really interesting. It's on Netflix. It should still be on there now. That is really good. You should watch that. Movies-wise, for me, I'm sorry, Haze, but I would have to put Super Mario Brothers in there. For me, it's a classic movie. I'll know it's a lot of shite, but it's a classic movie. The other one I would have to put in there for me is Doom.
With
The Rock. Because it's The Rock, so shut up.
And we love The Rock.
Yeah,
so.
The Rock can do anything he wants.
We definitely endorse him on this show.
Yeah, and just
I didn't know you were into wrestling.
Is nobody going to go for it and say like the most obvious best video game movie of all time with the best soundtrack of all time?
Oh God. Is there something we've missed?
Mortal Kombat? You can't tell me as soon as that fucking thing comes on and goes, Mortal Kombat! Dun, 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 dun. You're not totally like fucking arm pumped.
Oh, no. I was never a Mortal Kombat fan.
I love Mortal Kombat.
I'm not a fan of beat-em-ups, so...
I remember back in the day, probably when me and Chris was kicking about...
I know that WWE is essentially a beat-em-up, but...
probably back in the day when me and Chris was kicking about, I was a bit of a Mortal Kombat fiend, to the point where whenever I played it against like the boys and that, if you went Noob Saibot, who was basically the shadow... Noob, if you just kept pressing up and down really rapidly and pressing B, he just disappears off the screen, he comes back up and fucking uppercuts you and just... I used to sit there with my back to the boys, sitting there going, and they used to be like, "Oh man, fuck off!" That's how I used to play Mortal Kombat.
Only beat 'em up that I ever owned was on the PS1, and it was Star Wars. Was it Masters of Terrakazi or something like that?
Something wrong with you.
You could play as Darth Vader. Fuck you.
What about Tekken?
No.
Never have Tekken?
No.
Virtua Fighters?
No.
Oh man, something wrong with this kid. Like, I'm sitting in the wrong fucking studio.
Shut the fuck up. So yeah,
that's that. But before we do anything else, I do have a list of video game movies that are coming.
Ooh.
Would you like to hear what we are in store for? Because there's some really fucking dodgy ones. So this year we are getting Angry Birds movie. Like, because we need that.
That's just Rovio trying to fucking stay alive.
No, do you honestly think they need to make a movie to stay alive?
They're fucking... No one's bloody playing those games anymore.
Angry Birds?
Yes!
Oh, is that like nobody's playing Candy Crush anymore? Later on this year, we're getting Michael Fassbender in Assassin's Creed.
That's going to bomb.
I'm not really giving two shits about that film. Probably because Michael Fassbender's in it. Asteroids movie? I'm assuming that'll be...
Is that going to be like battleships?
I mean, is that something they can really say is based on games?
Asteroids?
I mean, it's such a basic concept. I mean, is the film going to be about a ship that, drives forward and then spins round a bit and then drives forward and shoots asteroids?
No, they're going to put a whole fucking overly convoluted story in about a love story and all that nonsense. And Liam Neeson probably.
A Pixar animation with Zac Efron and Vanessa Hudgens doing the voices.
No, it won't.
Everybody will go and see it.
No, it won't. It'll be like bloody battleships, and they'll put a love story in there and a bunch of bullshit that we don't care about and don't want to see. Next.
We're getting a Borderlands movie. Borderlands, you play Borderlands?
Probably.
I'm not fussed about that. Unless they get like some big ass people like Vin Diesel and The Rock in it. We're getting a Call of Duty cinematic universe, apparently, because nobody wants that. Is anybody playing those games anymore?
They are actually, to be fair, they are actually still very popular, but it tends to be the younger players. It's very Twitch based. Very,
yeah.
very kind of. So you'll go on Call of Duty these days if you're in my sort of category, and just get absolutely murdered by 5-year-olds. So it's no fun.
Yeah.
Fucking 5-year-olds.
You think it's fucking clever to fucking swear and fucking shit.
We're getting a Tom Clancy Ghost Recon movie. Oh, Michael Bay's attached. So I'm in. We're getting a Gran Turismo movie. Again, Need for Speed. Fuck off.
Why do we need a Gran Turismo movie?
Ooh.
There was never a campaign or mode on Gran Turismo where the story was there. What have you possibly got to tell it?
Is it a movie about someone getting their driving licenses?
Right. There was a time where EA's Need for Speed game, Gran Turismo, were both in development for film adaptations at the same time. As you already know, EA won the race by miles and Need for Speed was made. Sony are pushing for a Gran Turismo. It doesn't really say anything.
Oh, Sony's involved. It will be quality.
A Kane and Lynch movie, though. Kane and Lynch was okay. That could be a good movie.
That actually, do you know what? That actually might have a chance because Kane and Lynch wasn't a brilliant game, but the characters in it are they've got the raw materials to be really good in a film. Yeah,
I'd probably watch that. I'd probably watch Kane and Lynch.
You've got the unhinged one. Kane and Lynch could work.
And it says here that originally Bruce Willis and Jamie Foxx. Bruce Willis would have been quite good for that role. Jamie Foxx, he'll make anything right now. But now, Gerard Butler and Vin Diesel, I'm in. The Last of Us. Is that not just technically a movie anyway?
Sorry, but that is, that's just bullshit. The Last of Us, I'm playing through it at the moment on PS4, and it's incredible. I'm really, really enjoying it. But it basically is, as you say, Kev, largely an interactive movie with, kind of game bits and survival horror and stuff mixed in there.
Yeah, it's like making a movie a hard rain, isn't it? Where the game is essentially a movie.
Yeah, there's absolutely no need for that to be turned into a movie. You take the game away, and I don't know what you're left with, to be honest.
You will like this, though. Maisie Williams is in meetings to play Ellie.
Is that The Last of Us?
Mm-hmm.
I'll watch that then.
Sold.
Mass Effect. I never really played Mass Effect.
Amazing. Mass Effect.
I think I played the first one.
Would it work as a movie, do you think?
It's kind of in the same vein as the Knights of the Old Republic, really, other than it's no Jedis, but it's the same sort of thing in that you build your powers up and all that kind of shit. I can't really remember much about the story, to be honest with you.
The story is very, very good. It's kind of, it's a grand sort of space opera, sci-fi type world. It's brilliant. Does there need to be a film of it? No.
Just make another game.
Yep, exactly.
Metal Gear Solid. That's been going on for years. They've always been saying that.
Metal Gear Solid's already just a film with occasional bits of gameplay. So
there's more film than game, isn't there? Ooh, Mortal Kombat reboot. I'm in.
Meh.
I'm in already. Oh, you like this one? Minecraft.
I like this one.
What the fuck can they make? I still can't understand how they can make a Telltale game from Minecraft. That just boggles me. That's the one Telltale game I won't be playing, is Minecraft.
Yep, totally agree.
Because your choices are, do you place the brick in front of you or behind you? Are you going to smash this brick? Because the brick will remember. Ratchet and Clank, I'm assuming that'll be an animation. Paul Giamatti as the voice. Could be alright. Resident Evil Final Chapter, you've already said. Splinter Cell. Splinter Cell, is that not just Mission Impossible?
That's another sort of Ghost Recon type game, isn't it?
Did you ever play Splinter Cell Double Agent?
I haven't played that now.
When you played it online with your buddy, honestly, man, this game, it wasn't the best game, but see, when you played it online, say you were going through like the vents and you were going to like drop down to kill someone. When you went through with your mate, you had the headsets on and you had to be deathly fucking quiet, because as you're going through the vents crawling, and if you speak to your pal, the fucking guy below you'd be like, what was that? And he'd start looking for you and it's like, whoa, because you're like proper in. So when I used to play it online, I used to pair up with somebody I didn't know and be going through the vent, I'd be like, motherfucker! And the guy would be like, what was that? And he'd get killed just as you want to kill the guy.
You're a dickhead.
That sounds really good.
It was quite good. There's another Tomb Raider on the go. We already know about Uncharted. And of course, later on this year, we're getting Warcraft, which looks like a massive pile of steaming
that's
shit.
gonna suck.
That trailer did nothing for me, like. Did you watch the trailer?
I watched it.
Have you watched the trailer for Warcraft yet?
Haven't. I have absolutely zero interest in it.
Oh,
It's not something I've ever played, so meh.
a Watch Dogs movie? No thanks.
To be fair, that actually might make an okay movie.
It should have made an okay game, but it didn't.
No.
And The Witcher.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Well, bugger me.
Yeah, The Witcher. No, don't get too excited, because it's been directed by the guy who made the Mummy films. So, you know.
Which Mummy films?
Brendan Fraser ones.
They're alright. Shut up.
Them. You love them.
You're dead.
So that's the best worst movies of all time in our view. And it is our view. That wasn't too hard, was it?
That's alright.
I know we said that we only had a couple, but we got there.
Are there any games that you want to see made into movies, Haze?
No. To be fair, do you know, I really don't know. I had to think about this earlier on, and I honestly can't think of something that that just has to be turned into a film. The one that you mentioned earlier, really, Kane and Lynch. I think that's got actual potential. I can't really think of anything else. I mean, all the games that I like that I think could work as films, are kind of already in that area. So I didn't mention any of this stuff earlier, but I like the odd Japanese RPG and stuff like that, and a lot of these games like that kind of have anime, manga films made after them. So like Persona, for example, has there's an anime based on Persona. There's there's a Phoenix Wright anime. In fact, there's a Phoenix Wright live action film which I still haven't seen. I'm quite interested in, but
Judge Rinder on ITV.
But no, there's not too much, to be honest.
Here's one for you then. Here's one for you. We're getting a new Star Wars movie every year. So what about a Knights of the Old Republic Star Wars movie?
See, you nearly had me there, because I thought you were going to say Force Unleashed. Was it Force Unleashed? Is that what it was called? That
was a good game. That with the kind of red lightning.
It was a great game.
I could cope with that. Yeah, but I like the idea of the Knights of the Old Republic games, where it's 5,000 years before the events of the current saga. It's an original story. It's a good story as well. I quite like the idea of a Knights of the Old Republic movie.
That could work.
I'd watch that. I think the only game that I would like to see done, but they would never get it right, is probably a Grand Theft Auto movie, but they would never get it right.
No, they wouldn't. I think maybe the closest thing that you've got to a Grand Theft Auto movie right now is Drive.
Oh, what a film! I love Drive.
Which one was Drive?
The one with Ryan Gosling.
Grand Theft Auto movie. It's nothing like Grand Theft Auto.
Of course it is. There's cars in it.
Fuck off! Fuck off!
It is. Come on, Hayes, back me up.
I can see where you're going with that.
You know what,
honest,
though?
yeah. I can see where you're going with that. You've got a mercenary. You've got cars.
No, that movie's crap.
Oh no!
I hate
Kev.
Drive is like it's so boring.
Am I alone here, Chris? What do you think about Drive?
I think, Kev, you're an asshole.
It's boring.
It's a fucking awesome movie.
It's boring.
It's not boring.
I preferred the other one he made, A Place Beyond the Pines.
Yes, aye.
I loved that, but I just thought
Drive is a fucking awesome movie, man.
He was a stunt driver,
yeah.
Wasn't he? Yeah.
Drive was just.
Oh, I love Drive. Drive's one of the few films that I've actually watched twice back to back.
Oh, I've got the Blu-ray, man. It's awesome.
Yeah.
He's a stunt driver that gets into. He becomes like a getaway driver, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And then he sort of gets in over. He said you can't get much more GTA than that.
Nah, that's nothing.
Well, you're wrong. Have you got any?
No, I'm quite happy. I'm quite happy that there's a new Mortal Kombat on the go.
Right. Okay.
Because I love Mortal Kombat.
Next one then. Seeing as we're not getting a new Alien movie anytime soon.
Is Prometheus 2 not on the go?
Alien Covenant. Oh, fuck that shit. Alien Isolation.
I never played it.
It's good.
I would like to see that. In fact, I'm going to back you up on that, Chris. I would like to see Alien Isolation as a film, because I don't have the balls to play it as a game.
Is it not just aliens though?
No.
I never played it.
Well, Aliens is you're thinking of maybe Colonial Marines, the game, and fuck that.
Yes.
That's basically just aliens.
Did that ever actually come out?
Colonial Marines it did, and it probably shouldn't have.
I'd like to see a Shenmue game, but like in the vein of the Raid. Little what's his name, Iko Uwe's playing Ryu Hazuki.
I have got no idea what you're going on about.
Asking people in bars if they've seen any sailors around.
That'd be awesome. Getting jobs on forklifts. I used to love
Oh
that
god, that was so good, wasn't it?
That
You'd literally spend like 3/4 of an hour moving some boxes into a warehouse.
in Shenmue was that big and stuff that you could arm wrestle for money. You could get a job on a forklift down by the docks, literally just moving a box from one place to another. It was what a game that was.
Wow, that sounds awesome. And that's
like
all
alright
I've got.
idea. There's not really any other games though that you think are crying out for movies, and the ones that they do come out and say we're going to make a movie of, you kind of just sit and go, really, why?
I mean, there's not any sort of franchise other than Star Wars, but that's because it's a good story in the game. I think that would make a good movie. Same with Black Ops. It's a good story within the game. It's got fuck all to do with the Call of Duty franchise.
Yeah,
it's a good story. So that's been...
Is that it now?
I think so. Is it?
I don't know. I don't think... is there anything else you want to bring up?
No, I think we've covered quite a lot. I've been thrilled to join us on an episode like this, full of passion for games, and and it's been great to partake in the podcast. So
it's been cool to have you on, man. You should. We need to get you back on for a proper Walking Dead.
I'm definitely up for that. Yes,
I've been saying for a long time since we started. I remember when I was first getting everything sort of together, I was nipping your head about certain little bits and pieces, and it was back then that we talked about getting you on, and it was back then that I mentioned to Chris about doing like a gaming episode, because I knew you were like massively into your games, and it was like, we need to get it done. And it's, you know what it is, last year we just had a fucking
everything kind of started and went a bit crazy and stuff.
Everything was sort of doing away nicely, and then all of a sudden it just kind of started getting a bit hectic, and it's like, when the fuck are we going to have time to do this and this and this and this? We wanted you on for the Walking Dead crack on the last episode. We will come back and we'll do that again. Definitely, 100%.
Oh, aye.
Because it's nice to have a passionate rant about that show, and to be fair, it's quite easy to have a passionate rant about that show.
Yeah. Yeah, to say the least.
So you'll be back for that.
Are you into your Game of Thrones as well?
Not into Game of Thrones. I haven't actually watched that yet. A lot of people have said that I should. I'm generally not into fantasy sort of scenarios.
It's good.
But I don't rule it out. I've heard there's a lot of things that I'd be, that I'd like about it. So
it's more of a political drama, really. It's more House of Cardsy than Game of Thrones. It's good.
There's quite a few times that fucking Daenerys turns to the camera and does a southern accent.
You'd love Game of Thrones. You need to get that watch.
It's on the list. Yeah, it's definitely on the list.
But when we come back to do a Walking Dead, we will get you back on and we'll fucking wax lyrical on that shit. Probably tear Chris Hardwick a bit more apart.
Do I need to watch it? Because I've never watched it. I've got no reference of what you're actually speaking about there.
Maybe if there's like a big event where it leaves you hanging, we should all watch the episode of Talking Dead after it, and then we'll just do like an instant podcast and tear it apart and just be like, what a fucking prick he is.
When we're in peak rage mode.
When you've just watched it, you haven't had time to actually think about it, and you just
simmer down.
You're just sitting there going, and we'll just live stream it.
Let's do it.
Like the Look at the Flowers episode where I was about to actually kill something.
Yeah, you were angry, I was upset, and I think by all accounts Chris sounded like he was quite happy. It was like they finally did what we wanted them to do. But it's been an absolute blast having you on, mate. It's been good talking about games for a change. We tried to slip some movie shit in there. I think we did quite well.
Oh yeah.
But
no, likewise, I've really enjoyed it.
And like I say, you'll be back on again.
Well, thank you very much for having us, guys. I really appreciate it.
Good man.
Do you like his rants?
I do.
He had a couple of...
I'm quite impressed with the Walking Dead rants.
So they don't get...
I like a rant, as you know. I'm quite impressed with that.
You are a ranty sumbitch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Impressive.
So
Most impressive.
This has been episode 27. You can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, any decent... What?
I should have said you're not a Jedi yet.
Okay.
Doesn't matter.
iTunes, Stitcher, any reputable third-party app and any unreputable third-party app. You can find us anywhere, but most of all, just get yourself on the Googles, type in 365Flicks and you'll find us right there. I've been Kev, and they're the two Chris's. I've been dying to do that all episode. And this has been episode 27. So do you want to say goodbye?
Goodbye.
Chris, you want to say goodbye?
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Oh,
goodbye.
Fucking tit.